Welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm Buck Rogers, and I'm joined by Gene Lightyear.
Hi.
Hello, returning guest, but long time.
Long time.
7 years, long time.
Ooh.
Nick Kroll, an actor, a writer, a comedian, a producer.
He does it all.
Big Mouth, Kroll Show, The League, Sazige Party. 8th and final season of Big Mouth out on the 23rd.
Yes.
And it's spectacular. I watched it. It's spectacular. It is a laugh riot.
He's one of those guys in the comedy space that just has so many things going on at all times, and it's awesome.
Busy couple weeks for him, because also on the 28th, he has the FX show Adults. It's on Hulu and on FX. And then he has a new movie out on June 6th, I Don't Understand You. Those are the many projects and offerings of Nick Kroll. Please enjoy Nick Kroll. We'd like to thank our presenting sponsor, Happy Egg. Crack open happy. Look for the yellow carton at a store near you. And now, on with the show.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
Let me warn Monica that I'm early because I'm always late.
Good to see
Good to see you too.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Fun pants have arrived.
Fun.
Right.
I mean, we got a couple pairs of fun pants.
Oh my God.
Yeah, different versions of fun pants
Wow.
here. And then we've got a really understated
Classic.
guy, a guy who's realized that peace comes from inside and not out.
Little denim.
You're not
Yeah.
into the presentation of it all?
Well, this has an explanation, and I'm curious. Do you ever buy stuff off the Instagram, the ads that are curtailed to you?
I've decided it's time to like enter my aging Japanese sculptor age
Uh-huh.
of, and I would almost put those pants in that space.
I agree.
Yes,
Mhm,
versus like
Go ahead. Because I haven't wrapped my head around what they are yet.
like a well-to-do carny on vacation.
But can we also just throw in Goggins as
Yeah, of
like
course.
a hint
yeah.
of maybe
Sure.
Goggins?
Oh, is that
Sure.
what we're going for?
It's unintentional, but I can tell you what really happened was this. I see an ad. They weren't these.
Mhm.
And I was like, those look fun. That maybe I would wear those in the summertime.
A light pant.
Yeah.
Ordered them, and then it was like, when funding gets complete,
Yes.
and I was like, I didn't know this was a
Oh,
business
yeah.
model. Would you know about it?
No, wait. I thought this was a scam. You're saying like once we raise enough capital,
Yes.
we might actually be able to produce the product that we're selling you.
That's a business model now
Wow.
that I didn't know about. And they're selling them, and it appears they've already made them, but I don't know if it was maybe just a digital, whatever. I took a fucking gamble,
Mhm.
and then like months later, they raised funding. They arrived.
Can I feel them?
Yeah. And then I went on and I just said, well, I'm going to only wear these all summer. So
Mhm.
I ordered every version they make, and I'm waiting for funding. But these ones just
So
came.
they're like, we're still raising for a second round. You don't know how many different patchworks. We need so many old lady blankets to make these
Yeah,
pants.
they do
We
look
can't just-
quilted.
They're not pricey, guys. Not
So I ordered once off Instagram, and it was like they were like short little cool like pants, and then then I realized they were coming from a bizarre like Chinese address,
Uh-huh.
and then they came and they were truly the worst material and like a tiny pant. But I do want to talk about the sponsors here tonight.
Yeah.
You guys got,
Please.
Instagram, is Instagram a sponsor?
They're a huge. They're our only sponsor.
Congrats.
But yes, it's. I feel guilty, and the way I've talked myself out of the guilt is like, yeah, who knows what the sizing is? Whenever you order online, but I'm not going to go to a store.
No,
I get so sleepy when I shop. And
you really did you shut down?
yes, do you ever go with your wife somewhere and she wants to
Or
shop?
on your own. You
Mhm.
might be into shopping on your own. We don't know.
Or you dress up like your wife and go shopping on your own?
Yes. I walk into a store with either my daughters or my wife,
And you
the
just
very first thing I do is look for a
the chair.
bench.
Yeah.
It is. There's so many dads on chairs in stores.
It's true.
Oh,
That would be a thing. Dads on chairs, like Instagram.
That would be a talk show I would watch if it was just like dads on chairs. Like you'd come in and you'd be like, "What's going on?" That's how you find out of the family.
Yeah. What female in your life is shopping
Yes.
for what?
I definitely shut down will go in very occasionally, and then I will like pull the ripcord and
I don't know that's any better because you put it on there and you're like, this is a bingo. You bring it home and then still somehow something went wrong.
Yeah.
So my thing is just like I just order stuff and then I try it on and I go, great. Someone in LA is going to get a great pair of pants. It goes straight to Goodwill.
Oh, really? You just right.
Yeah. So there's just like a
smart.
stream of stuff going to Goodwill that still has the tags on it.
Yes, I would like to find better. This is terrible. I want better than Goodwill.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Real.
What I worry is that like some guy's going to go in, pull Dax Shepard's very nice unworn pants, then sell them at a high end like resale.
Oh.
Yeah.
And like I feel like there are good charities that are like people who are looking for work, and so they need like nicer interview clothing and stuff like that. That I'm like, that's where I try to.
I like that,
but I need to find those names. So callers,
also,
can you hit us up? Callers, if they want to just let us hit up lines.
Also, just to push back a little bit, hard to hate on a hustler.
I
Like if there's someone combing through,
absolutely,
and they profit off my thing, that's
He's putting in the work, and it is a he.
It's a he. We know it's a he.
It's a he.
Yeah.
It's hard to hate a hustler. He. I'm my pronouns are hustler, him.
So yeah, it's been 7 years since you were here.
Wow.
And if I had bumped into you on the street last month and said randomly, how long do you think it's been since you were on? What would you have said?
What I remember originally from that conversation, because I went back and listened a little bit today, because I was like, what, where was I? Where were we? What was happening? And what year was it? What I remember was I was talking about getting a car and like what car I should get. Because I had like a little Audi A3. I was always like sort of nice enough, but slightly understated. And you were like, go for it, man. Fucking get the car you want, right?
Yeah.
So I got a Tesla.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I got a Tesla.
Congrats.
And this is before
Sure.
any salutes happened or and I was like, and you were it was like, yes, I deserve a big, beautiful, luxurious, fast car. And I had it for like 2 years and I liked it, but I liked how it drove, but then I started to not like how the service was. And there were elements to it that ultimately felt like a reflection in a way of Musk. There's a certain obstinance to how it operated as a company that I began to be like, I don't like how this is making me feel.
Yeah.
And then I also started having kids, and I was like, I didn't want a sedan with like car seats and all that stuff. So anyway, it made me think about, when was I thinking about a Tesla? And I was like, oh, this is before the pandemic. And I realized it's been 7 years. So I kind of knew it was in that 2019, 2018 region.
Wow.
Because I would have said, if we bumped into each other, my guess would have been like, I think 3.5. That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess I'm wondering, is your time now warped as you age like mine is?
Yeah, well, I think time is hurtling past. I think time is moving at a rapid pace, and I think about this a lot. It's partly due to us getting older, and every day is shorter.
Fractionally less.
Yes. I also think I now have family. Every window of time is now taken up more than it used to be. And I think also like the phones and screens are just such that now there's no downtime in any way. Every moment is filled with something. Like a great podcast, like the Armchair Expert.
Sure. Great way to spend 3.5 hours. Wow, you're right. That's a new element I haven't incorporated into my overarching theory on it accelerating. But you're right. There was so much more boredom, and boredom takes longer.
Yes. I can't go to the bathroom without like pulling out my phone, taking a picture of my body. Sending it
photographing my body.
My physical body.
my physicality and my body. And I send it to you for your board.
For your leisure, for your entertainment,
I
for
have,
your
even though I haven't, I think it's only been 3 years, I do have 7 years of photos of you. And I love mapping the progress.
It's been a roller coaster. And I appreciate you letting me know that. That's fair. But I do think time seems to be moving at a pace that feels unparalleled in my life, and I can't
untenable.
Untenable. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's all it's culminating to
Yeah.
something.
I think COVID fucked with it too. Like that time, those couple
Those years are
years
kind of
It's a
gone.
Yeah, they're
blur.
gone. They're a blur.
It's a smear.
Yeah.
And it is like 7 years, so COVID sort of falls right in the
Exactly.
pocket of that time.
Now, last interview, I don't remember that I hit you with anything really gotcha, but I do have a single gotcha this one. I'm going to go a little
wow.
harder
Let's go.
today. Okay, so
I immediately start sweating.
You start taking off
Here
your
it comes.
jacket.
Here it comes. I've been waiting.
I've been
Here it
waiting.
is. Okay.
you turned down Nobody Wants This. Pause. And so my question
This is
is,
huge.
why didn't you want to kiss my wife? / how long have you been closeted?
These are great questions.
I have been in the closet about not wanting to kiss your wife for years. For years, I've pretended to be charmed and delighted by her.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So this is really,
I got
this
to
is
know.
a great gotcha.
By the way, I wouldn't have even known. I was FaceTiming with Kristen
Yeah.
right before this.
Yeah.
And I go, I have Nick. And she goes, oh, yeah, he turned down Nobody Wants This. And I was like, oh, my God, thank you so
Thank you for giving. I
much.
did my research. Thank you. All these years in, I'm still doing my research. I didn't know that.
Well, you didn't know
You didn't
what?
know that you
she
turned it
knew?
down?
So here's what happened.
You want to take your jacket off?
Yeah. So
This is like Matt Damon turning down Avatar and missing out on $250 million.
he
Do you know
did?
that story? He
No.
tells it openly. It's wonderful. He was offered 10% of Avatar on the phone with James
to be
Cameron.
Signori Weaver, and I said everything right here.
Yes, absolutely. To be Signori Weaver. You cannot ignore Signori Weaver.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, before the first movie.
Okay, so I'm in bed with my wife
Making
because I'm a straight man.
you're temporarily out of the closet.
I'm
and in bed
temporary-
with your
yeah.
wife.
As evidenced by your child.
Yeah, exactly. But both of my children, who we conceived,
And you're holding them
in
like
our,
a strong
in our marital
patriarch.
bed as heterosexual husband and wife.
Lovers.
My wife is like, I started watching The Best Show. And I was like, oh, cool. What is this? What's it called? She's like, Nobody Wants This. And I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh. She's like, I love it. And I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, it's like you.
It's so weird it could be
it's
you.
It's like Hot Rabbi. It's like you.
This is the kind of role, hon, I'm always telling you
Yeah.
you should do.
And I was like, I honestly do love Kristen.
Wow.
I couldn't want to kiss this fucking woman less.
Yes, of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're like, is there any kissing?
Yeah, ew. Well, and that's like a cooties thing, and that's a long time. That's a life.
And you're married now, and
I'm
you
married.
refuse to do
Right.
romantic
Well,
roles.
because my wife wants to kiss your wife, and so she would have been jealous of me.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I can't have
It could
that.
break up the marriage
I
for
can't
that
do
reason.
that. It's like a movie by that guy who does those kinds of movies.
yeah.
The Carol. So, Todd Haynes.
Todd Haynes, good.
Is that it?
And when Monica edits, you're gonna go like that guy, Todd Haynes.
Is it
It'll be
Haynes or
abrupt, but it'll-
Hayes?
Todd. Oh,
Haynes, you got it. You got it.
I meant Todd Hayes. This is a guy who's making movies in the Valley. I'm involved with investing and stuff. So, and I was like, I think they maybe offered this show to me. And then I went back and I wasn't sure if they had offered it to me or if they just like wanted to talk to me about it. And I still don't quite know whether it was like, this is yours or this is like, you're one of people. Because when I read it, I was like, this is good. Kristen's amazing, but they should cast Adam Brody to be this guy.
Well, hold on a second.
Wow.
I swear to God.
Okay, great. By the way, I didn't know till today they offered it to you.
Yeah.
But when I read it, I was like, you got to get Brody.
Yeah.
He's the only option.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he's the only symmetrical Jew.
He is heartthrob Jew.
Can I have a tissue?
Yeah.
Give you a whole box.
Oh my God, Dax, that was so aggressive.
That was meant to be aggressive. This was not.
Oh,
Can I have that over here?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Um,
I'm gonna take one from me because I
Can
do a lot
do
of
you
that.
mind if I just spit loogies out while
of
we...
course, of course.
I'm one of the most disgusting, as Monica will attest. I'm just a disgusting mess of
constantly
coughing
nose
and
So, well,
blowing nose.
you have children and you're just like,
You're
I'm
sick
like,
for-
sick for
6 years.
Thanks. Oh, that's on camera? Oh, okay. but so good. But let's leave the
Just
dirty
throw that on the floor. Yeah.
I'm sorry to do this as this Kleenex is a personal sponsor, and I travel with my sponsors show to show. So if this is okay, we could just do this.
We should do a celebrity line of Kleenex. Nobody has touched that space.
Nobody's touched it. They think Kleenex is just because they got the branding on it.
I could see your faces on that little
Right?
Kleenex box. How cute.
And we're both blowing our nose in a very cute and appealing way.
Oh, sick little cutie.
Almost cried.
Why did I turn that down? I'm a sick little cutie. I am the sniffles.
Sick little
Nobody
cutie.
wants this.
Nobody wants this cold.
Wow.
But Brody is. I remember checking one, but I think he's like half Jewish, which explains the square.
Sure.
Because that's
Yeah.
what the Jews are all kind of angles and circles.
Yeah.
And he's got he's got enough of it. It's in the eyes, right?
Mhm.
You feel the sweet kindness
Yes.
of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then there's like still the square shape of it all. I keep doing this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Now, did you go so far as to go back through your emails to see? You did.
I think
And
I
it
went
was an
back.
offer. It was an offer.
I don't remember. I don't know if I fully went back through, but
Okay, now.
have I regretted it watching Adam absolutely just fucking crush it? One of the biggest shows on Netflix ever, and
Sure.
people fall in love with him all over again.
Yeah, do you care or not care?
There's so many elements that go into these things, especially as you have a family and just choices change slightly.
Yeah.
Where you're like, how does this work? And
Yeah.
like life just becomes a much more complicated puzzle of like, can I go and make this thing right at literally it was like dead in the middle of when we were having our baby.
Yeah.
And so I just think there were a lot of elements that went into it. And yeah. If you've asked me if I've watched it, I have not. I cannot watch it.
Oh,
There we
that's
go.
fantastic.
Have you had anyone where you were like, you really wanted
Oh.
it? Someone else got it.
It still smarts when I go out for things, but as a producer and maker of things, you really take the heat off of yourself and others when you don't get something for various reasons, where you're like, you can still be very, very good and not right for this based on like the particular part or the equation that they are putting out, right?
Yes.
So major reason I became a writer and producer was to avoid the powerlessness of being cast.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Like, just like, I cannot cede this much control. I cannot
Yes.
handle that. So I need to start making things so that I can start to be the one who controls
Powerful.
the Svengali, the Jewish monster controlling the media properties. That was my take on Nobody Wants This. And they didn't want that. They didn't want my take. But for example, I just...
Jewish monster. Those two words are never together.
I think they're heard together quite a bit these days. The one that I'm dealing with right now, Jesse Armstrong's HBO movie.
Oh.
The guy who made Succession.
Yes, yes.
There is a part in there. I got sent. They were like, "There's this thing. Jesse Armstrong's doing this thing. Carell, Rami, Jason Schwartzman. I mean, Succession to me is just the best thing made.
Perfect.
It's perfect, and it's like this one is about like billionaires on a mountaintop over like a weekend,
Oh.
and they're all like tech billionaires. And I was like, it's rare that a part or a group of people feels like, I'm like, no, I could legitimately, I feel real for that. Let me be like a shitty little tech billionaire in that thing. And I auditioned.
Overcoming a lot of childhood trauma of
Yeah.
being overlooked and then
Yes.
trying to rule the world because
Yes.
no one wanted to kiss you.
Exactly. Then
Yeah.
coming down to like a very like this big massive story about where we are as a culture and humanity, then boiled down to like a beautiful personal story. I auditioned. I was like with my family. I had my like sister-in-law or my like anyway. I had like my family put me on tape.
Self-tape.
Sure.
Self-tape.
Self-tape on like a Sunday after a brunch. It was the only time to get it done. It was like
After a brunch.
so
That's
full.
relevant. Were you too full?
it was like a family brunch. So it was like we had to do the family brunch.
Okay.
And then I was like, I don't know when I'm going to do this tape. My wife's like, let's do it right now. And so I fucking did it. You can hear my son like screaming in the background of the tape. And I send it in and then they're like, you're waiting and waiting and waiting. And then,
Did you get it?
no,
Oh.
no.
Oh,
Teasing.
no.
Fucking
Wow.
here.
I didn't know that was the end.
You seen the fucking trailer? I'm not in it. And so that one, like,
no.
It hurt.
now I know all those guys a little bit except Corey Michael Smith, who I adore.
We love him.
I love as an actor. I love his height. I love his 3 first names.
Yeah.
So I watched that trailer and I'm like, oh, those guys are all great. This is going to be great. But boy, oh boy, did I want to fucking be in that
Yeah.
so badly.
Yeah. I've had
That's it. And you're
yeah.
just like, that's fair enough. But I'm like, I have no beef towards any of them.
Except your son. You resent your son, I assume.
Yeah, I blame my family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
you
should.
should.
I blame,
You really
You
should.
should.
That
blame my
brunch.
son.
You should watch it with him.
This is what daddy should have
You
been doing
see-
if he hadn't done what he did.
You couldn't control your emotions for 4 minutes while I self-taped. But, I do just want to put a fine point on that. I, too, have been liberated by casting people.
Yes.
Fuck, I just wish every actor could start casting.
Yes.
Because, man, it does. It takes all the fucking onus off your shoulders.
Yeah, you're just like, you're great, but you're not right for this.
Yeah.
So be it. However, the other part of casting, I will say, is that certain people are undeniable.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, you're like, they're not exactly right, but they are undeniable. And so we are going to cast them.
Uh-huh.
They force you to rewrite
Yes.
your original idea.
And in my worst moments, I'm like, but if I were undeniable.
Yeah, we all just want to be undeniable.
Undeniable. Okay, well, that was great. You turned out Nobody Wants It. I think that'll be a hot story. I think
Oh,
that's going to be,
wow.
there's going to be a lot headlines flying.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
People
That's
are going to be
unknown,
so thrilled by what the final outcome was. How much do you guys consult each other about the stuff you do?
A lot. Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah.
Well, she has to get permission, obviously.
Yes, I only let her work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
Just
that's
making
true,
sure
but that's-
you knew
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that.
I was trying to, because of the modern times, I was trying to be polite.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
if I've decided it's in the window, I want her to work.
If I've decided she's done having children,
No, we are both, we have such opposite personalities. I know what she'll get in love with, and she'll get blinded by this one element. And then I'll just be the little voice going like, well, you also need a really good director, or you also need blank. And then conversely, she'll be monitoring my ego and my low self-esteem and reminding me, we help each other in that way.
Yes.
Do you have that with your?
I do have that with my wife. I mean, it's like right now there's like the creative stuff of like, I'm excited by this or whatever. And she'll be like, great, that's great. Like for example, the Jesse Armstrong
You
thing.
also have indigestion, which is like, it's to me, it's the triple
can't
crown's
believe
coming in.
I'm like,
if you break a bone.
by the way, I've had, so this cough that you're going to hear, I've had for 3 weeks. I have 2 children under 5. And so it's like, I believe I've had walking pneumonia like 3 times in the last year, and I'm coughing up. I mean, this is just the reality. And you're in month 5. Your kids are older than mine, but you're still carrying.
We just got healthy last year after 12 years.
Right. So I seem to be coughing up and it's all color based where I'm it's not this green, so everything's okay. I can be in public. I just call the doctor and I'm like, it's sort of between
armchair yellow.
It's just banana yellow.
It's kind of banana yellow. Can you see this paisley in here? Can you see the color? Sometimes it's this, so I'm not that worried.
Call me when it's kiwi, inside of a kiwi.
And tell me when the seeds start coming out. Tell me when the dark black seeds come out.
And you have your Z-Pack, so just...
I did start, and I try to avoid antibiotics because I'm RFK till I die.
Sure.
Which I think will be sooner than I think.
He's a great role model.
But
Germ theory is a joke.
So but I did finally lock into the antibiotics because I'm supposed to be. I was like, I got to do a bunch of press stuff. I got to get clean, and then
got to detox.
Now here I am on day 3 of the Z-Pack, just like. And the indigestion. Why didn't I play the rabbi? So, but my kids, anyway, my wife, I trust her opinion on things. But what she's really good at is like also being like, whether the piece of material is whatever it is, and sometimes that's just for me to figure out, but it's like, she will monitor, like, does this seem like this something that feels exciting to you or something that you want to do?
Right.
Versus like
intellectually a good decision.
Yes. Like, is the thing, it's like, does this spark joy and excitement?
Yeah. Now, since I interviewed you, I don't know if this was a fair assessment, but I had this, and maybe I told you then, I don't think I was brave enough to, but I have admired your choices from the get-go, truly. And I guess my conclusion was, maybe it was just to mitigate my judgment of myself, but do you think knowing your dad has money has helped?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. I actually went
We
back
did
and
do
listened.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I want to. It was interesting because I went back and was listening to our podcast on the way here. I do my research like you do.
Yeah.
I was FaceTiming with Kristen.
You should have.
And-
Yeah. Did she tell you I was not offered any roles and nobody wants this?
They offered you to play her sister.
Yeah.
Yes, we covered that a little, and it was interesting. And I think it was sort of a realization in that interview where I was like, "Oh, this is so interesting to go back and hear yourself for a conversation you had 7 years later." And you're like, how your mind works, where you still will pop up with a similar thought, or like when I improvise on, say, I'll record my stand up, and I'll improvise like in a moment, and I'll be listening back either in conversation, and my mind will have a very similar idea again.
Yep.
So, which makes you be like, boy, I'm not fucking that interesting.
No.
Boy, I'm not a
No, it just
multidimensional.
means you believe what you're doing.
Yeah, your mind goes to a similar place. So I was listening to it and I was like, oh, wow, I hadn't talked about that much. And it was very kind of you to say. And I do think the major advantage of my parents growing up very comfortable and very privileged was the luxury of choice.
Yeah.
And so as I had my career, I could make choices based on the fact that I had a backstop. If it didn't work, I was going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it has allowed me, that has been the great freedom of that, is allowed me to make decisions based on that. What has changed now in an interesting way is now that I have a family and now that I have responsibilities beyond myself,
Yes.
I now feel a greater pressure and decisions that are weighed by more than just pure, like, does this spark joy?
Well, my immediate thought was not to like try to reshame you from being privileged.
No, I do that to myself constantly. And if you want to go to the internet, they've been doing a great job of it as well for years.
I wondered more because you do produce things now, and there is an element of your now growing business. By the way, my favorite, I think, production company name I've ever seen, his production company's named Good at Business, right? Is that what it is?
That's
Yes,
fantastic.
good at business.
Good at business.
It was Bobby Bottle Service. My old character would be like, good at business. I'm good at business.
I'm good at
So
Those
I-
guys
That's
all want to be
great.
good at business.
And I wanted to change it at some point, and then I was like, no, I think that's just it.
Don't ever change it. It's so good. As a performer, you just want to be ignited,
Yes.
right? And have fun and be engaged and keep that momentum going. As a producer, it's a different endeavor.
Yes.
You must consider the marketplace. It's different, right?
That also is another advantage, is my dad built a business, and I got to watch him have a business. And that was a major benefit to me in innumerable ways, but particularly in understanding the literal economics, but less the economics, more just the managing and building of something.
Yeah.
And particularly, my dad was an entrepreneur and built stuff. And so in building a business, like I've been able to I just saw it growing up.
Yes.
Whereas it sounds like, have you talked about how you grew up? Like that wasn't around. So like you learning how to build a business had to come innately from yourself.
What I did see, I want to give my dad credit. My dad was an entrepreneur. He started many businesses, and they would work out for a while,
Right.
and he would buy a bunch of stuff, and then he would go bankrupt.
Gotcha.
And just over and over again.
Gotcha.
He was a passionate guy at starting things and
Yes.
not a great manager of things.
And that is a distinction. So it's like probably your healing has been to like build something and then maintain it.
Protect it and be a good steward of it.
Yes. And I would say that as I continue to make things and watch other people make things, and the difference between people who I think really successfully make things and the people who struggle to make things that really blossom, is the ability to start something, have an idea that's great, but then continue to fucking grind it until it's right. Because we know a lot of people in our business who have great ideas, write a great version of a script,
A great first draft.
first draft that needs work.
Yeah.
And then they're like, they don't want to keep working it.
Right.
And you got to keep sculpting it and working it and polishing it and editing it over and over and over for it to actually work.
Yeah, the endurance aspect of the business isn't something that people really talk about or think about quite often.
It's not the fun part. And that's my problem with your fucking dad.
Tell me. Yeah, please let it rip.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
This is season 8 of Big Mouth.
Yeah.
By the way, I watched 3 episodes last night. It's as good now or better than it has ever been.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was. I
That's
just was
hard to do.
dying last night.
Thank
It's
you.
so fucking good. And that's the longest running show on Netflix, adult show.
Actually, Nobody Wants This Now has been on for 10 seasons.
Oh, they somehow. Yeah.
No, it'll be the longest running, scripted series on Netflix, which
Wow.
is crazy. We did 8 seasons on Big Mouth, and then Human Resources, which we did a spinoff of for 2 seasons. So it's like about 100 episodes of this kind of universe that we
Wow.
built.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to hear that season. I really think this season's as funny as any of the seasons we made.
No, it's incredible. Do you so we're year 8, right? And
Wow.
no,
And can I
we've
announce
done
it?
7. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're
But can I announce it? This is the final season.
it is. Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
last interview
This is the end.
because we all died from Kroll's children's illness they picked up at preschool. Not because we wanted to end the show. But do you have any psychotic with your show?
Yeah.
8 seasons in. Do you have these psychotic moments where you're like, I think the show sucks, and I don't think nothing new's happening. I got to change it, and then I'm like, no, you don't. Do you have that battle?
This particular show, because it's a show about kids going through puberty and adolescence, we made a decision pretty early on that it was like the kids would continue to change because it's puberty. I mean, literally, the song is called Changes, the theme song, Charles Bradley, based off an Ozzy Black Sabbath song originally. And it's about, we're going through changes. Like the show is about change and evolution. And so we were decided early on, like these kids are going to change emotionally, but they're also going to physically change. Like season 8, the final season, is like my character, Nick, who's been tiny the whole run of the show, how I was through puberty, hits a growth spurt. He's in high school now and he grows. And like the character grew.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
much bigger.
I'm bigger.
There,
I'm like,
Andrew.
I hit puberty and then like all of a sudden in 10th grade, I grew like 6 inches.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I was taller than Andrew. And like, so because the show and the characters continued to change and evolve in a real tangible way, it never felt old or stale. That has made the show always interesting and always new and always exciting, as opposed to, whether it's like a podcast or a sitcom or a show where like people kind of want things to stay the same or people like what they like,
Yeah.
And so,
Well, there's a sweet spot, right? Like Howard evolved. If you chart Stern,
yeah.
From 95 till now, it is a different show.
Yes.
But it was just this perfect level of incremental change.
Yeah.
As he acknowledged his own changing as a human.
He's very smartly kept it evolving in that way. And I think on our show, in a way, you start with Nick and Andrew. It's based on me and my friend Andrew Goldberg's life. And we start to grow out. It's like, oh, this girl, Jessie, and she got her period. And then it's like, oh, she needs a hormone monster. So da-da-da. And then it's like, oh, there's this girl, Missy. And then there's Jay. And let's start to explore his house and family. And then by season 8, you're like, you just keep broadening out who your focus is and like what stories you can tell. And then always knowing you can come back to your core kids.
Right.
But there was always like new stuff to sort of tackle and look at and try to understand.
I want to frame this whole thing. The theme of this one, I want to be best friends.
Mm-hmm.
This interview.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Because I'm still best friends with my best friend from 11, Aaron Weekly.
You talk to him daily.
Almost.
You talk to Andrew Weekly daily?
That was a joke.
Oh, Aaron Weekly. But you know why it didn't work? Sadly, it's WEAK. Like he's a weakling, but he's very strong.
I bet he is.
Please don't challenge
But
him.
that must have affected him. Is he a muscular fella?
No, he's way cooler. He's like he loves who he is
Gotcha.
more than I do. Yeah.
Right. That's why you guys are good friends.
Yeah.
You're a star who hates himself, and he's a regular guy who's totally at peace.
I'm watching last night the show, and it's still shockingly hard. It goes hard.
Yeah.
Big Mouth
Yeah.
goes so fucking hard. The
Yeah.
whole time you're kind of like, I really can't believe it's on TV,
Yeah.
which is a fun feeling to constantly have.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I wonder, could you have done that show solo, or do you think you and Andrew have a bubble where you're like, as long as you and I think this is okay, it's okay?
Andrew, who I've known since I was 6, and we were best friends in middle school. We stayed friends in high school. He went to college with actually a couple friends of mine, but then he came out to LA and he started working in animation. He was like, worked his way up through Family Guy. McFarlane's assistant, and then became a writer and then producer there.
For 8 seasons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody does do his research.
I watched you and McFarlane talk, and it was really interesting. Even the thing you just said that your characters age, it didn't even occur to me like, oh yeah, cartoons, the characters don't ever age.
No.
That's unique, and I didn't even... I just missed that.
It was weird. So I actually met McFarlane through Andrew, and like it was crazy when I met Seth, and then we haven't seen each other very much because I've stopped crooning.
Sure.
So we don't see each other on the circuit.
Yeah.
Having that conversation with him, I was like, oh, this is very weird. There are not many people I could have this conversation with besides like a couple of people like Seth MacFarlane who created a show. Trey and Matt won't talk to me. I think with Andrew and I, we had the same thing where it was like around 6th, 7th grade, we started hanging out constantly and we just made each other laugh. And then we went to camp together and we were doing like campfire skits. And we were like, if this is funny to us, then who cares? But then we went our own ways. And then we came back together with this show where he came to me with Mark Levin and Jen Flackett, who he had been their assistant when he first moved to LA 25 years ago. And then they worked in film and television. They made a bunch of stuff. And then they came to me with this idea. They're like, it's you and Andrew going through puberty. It's animated. And I was like, yes. So that was an idea where it's like, yes, let's go. And we all just bring different skills to this thing, what I'll say is the creative bubble of being like, I have whatever I do, my voices, the people I know that I can call in to do stuff. They have an unbelievable knowledge of storytelling and animation and creating a structure and family that makes for a show. So I could do what I do. They could do what they do. We started the show 25 years after we were those boys. We created a show together that we've now done for 8 seasons, but we hadn't worked together in 25 years.
Yeah.
And then we come back together, work together, fucking doing Wayne's World sketches. Hosting talent shows us doing literal word for word Wayne's World.
Yes.
We hadn't worked together
since we ripped off every Saturday Night Live sketch and became heroes.
But it's been both gratifying comedically and artistically, but like on a human level, so unbelievably gratifying to reunite with your best friend from childhood to make this thing that then worked in a way that you could never have imagined. That like we look back, like if 13-year-old Nick and Andrew are like, you're going to get to go make an animated show, on Netflix, no less, a thing that they will understand entirely. Streaming service.
On the computer.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's crazy.
But you're good in partnership because you have it with Mulaney too. Like, do you prefer working with a person?
I do. I love a person. I mean, I love a sex doll. Let's be honest. Of course, to write with and nothing sexual.
right. Store your pens in their fleshlight.
Yeah, they're great at breaking. They're great at story. They're great at
holding the pens.
But I do like partnership. I like. It's like watching you guys. Like, there's just something intangible about like the conversation that, for me personally, I'm much more generative that way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we've done other shows with other people, and if we sit down, we just can't. We have to stop ourselves. Yeah, that's it. Like on the fact check, we literally have to stop ourselves. Like, it's been too long.
But it also.
She's about to tell you that she loves working with other people. Go ahead.
And that she would like to permanently work with other people.
I'm not. I'm going to say that I think sometimes in a three environment, it can be hard.
Yes.
And I can imagine sometimes, probably, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I assume that sometimes you're like, it might be easier if it was just me. Sometimes, not like all the time, but I can, in a real way, like, well, this person has their own thoughts and I'm coming in with the structure and they're going to. So I think some people do prefer a solo creative
for sure.
endeavor.
It's for sure.
And that's understandable too.
Well, that's your stand-up. You get that as well.
Yes, I get that in stand-up, but it's what I do love to do that in stand-up, but I always feel a little insecure. Insecure is probably the wrong word. Like I want to kill myself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Suicidal.
Yeah, like ideations. But I do feel like oftentimes like I'm better in conversation. And when I do stand up, I love it. But I'm like, am I lacking that spark that comes in conversation that I creatively think can come out of me when I'm in conversation that don't come out of me alone?
Okay. Mulaney, I was going to bring that up too. So I got to say, I was embarrassingly kind of ill-informed on Mulaney.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Turns out so was I.
Well, yeah. So then I was on a trip that he was on, and I was like, oh, I really like him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch his stand-up special. I watch it.
No, I think I was like, you gotta watch this.
You had been pushing hard
Yes.
for Mulaney for you. You're a first in Mulaney fan.
Yeah, I think he's great.
And so I watched his stand-up special, and I'm an addict, so anything addict I like. And then it's so fucking great. But then I was wondering, were you at that intervention?
I produced that intervention.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I'm good for business.
You want
Good
to
at
say
business.
good at business? Not good for business. Not good at
It was
business.
not good
Yeah.
for business. Losing your mind.
It
so
was.
stressful.
I mean, you've been on probably both sides of it.
Well, just to tell you really quick. So Aaron, the reason
Yeah.
we're back in business is he went another 19 years after I got sober. He got sober 5 years ago. And so we too had a restart basically 5 years ago. And it's like, oh, good, back in business.
Yeah. It was so, I mean, it's like,
You can tell me you don't want to talk about it
no, because I do it.
because I had a relapse, right?
Yeah.
And Monica had to deal with it.
Yeah.
And she had to be detecting things.
Yeah.
And we've explored that a lot. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of addicts get to go on TV and talk about the experience. And I think they get to do stand-up about it.
Yeah.
And I don't really think you hear enough from the people who are fucking terrified and
Yeah.
It's
thinking
really
you're losing
hard.
your mind maybe.
Really hard.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you and I could do a separate podcast about
For
this.
real. It's so hard.
It was so scary and brutal to go through. It was so scary
Yeah.
because he was in New York and I was in LA, and it was it was the height of the pandemic. So it was incredibly literally stressful to be in the midst of the pandemic, trying to literally coordinate and produce a intervention.
Yeah.
Bringing a bunch of different people together, friends from college. And my wife was very pregnant, and I was shooting Don't Worry, Darling, which there was no stress there. I mean, there wasn't, and for me personally in that, except that it was at the height of COVID pre-vaccine. So it was like I had a very pregnant wife, and we had COVID scares and happening. And that was happening. And then it was like John was running around New York City like a true madman.
Yeah.
And I was so deeply scared that he was going to die.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to orchestrate all this of combining all the elements that go into these things.
Yeah.
Like the intervention person, where he was going to go, who was going to be.
Yeah. You need all that lined up.
Yeah. It was so fucking stressful. And then all of a sudden you're also like I don't know how long your relapse was, but like you're all of a sudden like going back being like, oh, that's why I've had an inconsistent friend for the last X amount of time.
Yeah.
Oh, this explains that. And so it gives you both empathy for them and also tremendous amount of anger.
Yeah.
Because of they've been lying to
The
you.
deception.
The deception.
Before the intervention, was there a lead up of like, hey, man, are you all right? Like, was there a lot of that pre-intervention?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I have a very clear memory of being outside at my house. There was like someone like working inside of my house. This was again, COVID, but we had a guy, we had just moved into our new house. We were about to have our kid. Like it was in the middle of this, it was just so intense. And I was trying to have these conversations with all these people while this was happening. It was the same week. And I have a very clear memory of being outside, like sitting on the ground, like on the phone with him, both of us crying, me just being like, I'm so scared you're going to die. And I felt him feeling the same way. But also like, just like, yeah. Like,
But I gotta get onto my.
But anyway, I gotta go. I'm in this new Airbnb. I gotta go. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I have really not talked about this at all. But then watching the stand up and watching how it evolved, because also when he came out of rehab and started doing stand up all about it, he was still pretty fucking pissed about the intervention because he was having a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you felt when you got clean, but you're still like,
There's a lot to unpack
is.
for
Yes.
years.
yes. And
Yeah.
so he was pretty angry. All of a sudden I was like, oh, I don't it was also like, oh, I don't know if I like having jokes about me.
Yeah.
Especially when
Especially when you went out on a huge limb.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
help
like,
him.
oh, I don't know if that feels so great.
If that's the reward for getting put through the emotional
Yeah.
ringer. Yeah.
But we talked about it, and I was like, I don't love that this and this, how you're representing this. And he was like, I hear you. I totally hear you. And everyone's process and art is different. So like what he's willing to share, I mean, it's what makes him so fucking funny and dynamic and intoxicating as a performer is that he's giving you a written version of his life, but he is giving you access to elements of himself. And I myself am very guarded in certain ways like that. Like,
Yes,
in that I
yes.
don't, but it's what makes him such an amazing stand-up.
But I wonder, so for Aaron, you know, we had 16 years of him still at it, and I never said a word.
Sure.
I knew what was going on. He knew what was going on. I'd go back to Detroit. We'd spend time together. I knew he was doing his best in those times to not be as fucked up as he was.
Yeah.
And the very first time I ever said anything was, you know, he was growing weed at the time. There was a house next door. He wanted to buy
Legal,
this.
nothing wrong with that. Keep going.
Yep.
Everything's great. On the up and up.
We're exploring all the best ways to make. So I bought him this house. I bought like a house in Detroit for $65,000.
Sure.
And I called him on a Monday to say like, hey, the house is closed. You can go start growing weed in there.
Yeah.
And he didn't call me back for like 5 days, which is just, it's not him. Even in the height of his addiction, he's very responsive. And by day 4, I'm wondering, is he dead?
Yeah.
And then when I finally get on the phone with him on day 5 and he goes, oh, hey, sorry, Dad, I had the worst flu. And I go, Aaron, dude, who do you think you're talking
Yeah,
to?
exactly.
I know, but I had a lot of those flus too.
Yeah.
And I go, I think you're going to die
Mm-hmm.
really soon.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to. And I have a fucking treatment center in the fucking Caribbean. If you want to go, it's handled. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like 98% sure he's going to say, fuck you.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
Well, I just got to add one thing for the comedy. He doesn't have a passport. So now he knows he's going to treatment, but we have to wait 5 days again. And I'm like,
he's like,
that was the most stressful 5 days of my life.
Scary.
Is like, is he going to make it to treatment?
Yeah. And it's exactly that feeling. I knew for a little while what stuff was going on, but not for the however long he had been using. It was only near the end. Yeah. The fear is like, you're going to lie to me or you're going to be obfuscating or whatever.
There's a point where there's nothing to lose, right?
It's just like, I'm just like, that my main concern, and now I will approach you about this, is I think you're going to die.
Yeah.
And that's all I can tell you. He talks about, in this, he's like, Nick, I was the first one to speak. And also he's like, Nick didn't get the memo that we were all going to be nice to John. And I was like, nobody got the memo. Like, I just was like, I'm a good student in this way. I was like, if the job is to tell you a letter of how you've been a bad friend, then I'm going to tell you how you've been a bad friend.
Yeah.
Because this is no more joking around, no more nice shit. Like, it's fucking done.
This is serious.
Yeah.
This is serious. Like, we're, you know.
Yeah. That's the tightrope, I think, with addicts. I didn't know any before I knew Dax, but it is a tightrope to walk where you're not like alienating them.
Yeah.
So that they just completely go off the deep end and don't talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
But you have to also say that you see something's wrong. And I was just at such a loss. And I was just like, I know you're doing this. I know you're doing this. And then there was just like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Oops. Well, that's also, you're in survival mode too. And it's just a very, it's such a,
if I tell you I'm doing it, then the next thing is I have to stop.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I can't at that moment. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It ultimately, thank God, because I also like, you know, where he's landed and how well he's doing in all ways is like is amazing.
Yeah. And then I'll put an end to this because I don't want you to feel like in any way it's exploitative. But I will add, I just told a story recently. I worked with a comedian who was supposed to be sober, got fucked up in the movie, did so many things. I was about to say innumerable. You already said it a while ago, and I didn't want to repeat innumerable.
It's a great word.
It's so good. He did so many things. We almost got in a fist fight on sex. He tried to put glasses on my face and poked me in the eye, and he was so disruptive, and it was a mess. And then 2 weeks after, I hate his guts. He has to have an actual cop on set with him. That's how bad it got. And there was a point where he's running through this store and the cops chasing him like Barney Fife. It's a heavy set cop. And he's going, chase me, officer, chase me. And I'm on my fucking chair waiting to record. And I'm like, I just start laughing so hard. And I'm like, oh my God, he's so fucking funny. It broke my like hatred. And I started laughing. And I did, it's hard to have compassion for people who are charismatic, but it can be harder for people who are really funny and charismatic because they can win people back over.
That's the problem with addiction is the rascal. Like there's something so charming about the rascal and the person who's like kind of can't stop themselves for going for it. And it's like, it's intoxicating.
Yeah.
And they're worried also if they lose that element, then do they lose what is their like,
Does the whole thing unravel?
does the whole thing unravel?
Yeah.
And so I totally get that.
Yeah. I wanted to say a few more things about Big Mouth. One is, did I write it? You're at 67 characters you've done on the show.
I believe it's
79. 79.
more than.
It was fun to watch you and McFarlane talk. I really want, I encourage people if they're like animation nerds to find that, you guys chatting.
Yeah.
And I was also thinking, yeah, what an accomplishment for you to have done 8 seasons there. And then, but you're also talking to a dude who's done 20, really minimizes.
He's like, actually, I've done 138 seasons
Oh my
of
God.
American Dad.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
25,000 seasons of Family Guy. Boy, there's a difference between like early 2000s, 90s TV money and
I asked Mike Schur this
yeah.
at one point. Like when I was interviewing him, I'm like, does it make you a little bit mad that if you had the same career in the 80s and 90s, you would own the Red Sox? You'd be Tom Warner.
Yeah, totally.
Same career.
Totally.
And you, 8 seasons of a fucking show, you'd have a couple $100 million.
I would.
Does it upset you, Nick?
No, because Daddy's got so much money. No, but what I will say is like we've done fine on the show.
Yeah.
It would have been a different thing years ago, but also we could not have made Big Mouth in the 90s or early 2000s. We could not have made Big Mouth. That's the thing is like when we came in Netflix, it was like we're the 33rd produced show by Netflix in like the history of that place.
Which is now in
the fucking 100 millions, right?
Yeah.
Of shows. But at that point, they were so early, they were letting us do literally whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
And letting us take incredibly big risks. And we have been sort of grandfathered into continuing to be able to take those risks. Like we could not make that show there now exactly.
Yes. And by the way, this is so in keeping with the thing I admire about you, which is, you might not have gotten $100 million, but you made something that could almost not be made. And of course, on your deathbed, you'll have so much more pride in that.
Right in my deathbed, as I'm dying, I'm like, I got to get so many animated kids to jerk off. We just announced it that we're making this new show called Mating Season that will come out a year from now, like as if it were not another season of Big Mouth, but on a similar schedule as Big Mouth.
Great.
Called Mating Season, about like animals dating and fucking in the woods.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow.
So
okay, great.
it's like, it's a similar
I do a very grizzly bear voice.
I'm like, okay, all right.
I'm chafed. Can we revisit this in an hour?
It sounds
This
like you're
is Wilford Brimley.
Yep, exactly.
America's going to be a record cold winters. When your little ones come in cold from building a snowman, make them an extra thick bowl of Quaker Oats.
Can you say diabetes?
Diabetes. Get your blood sugar checked regularly.
So it's so funny to think about now. He's promoting Quaker Oats. That's glucose spike from from that oatmeal.
They'll nail you.
Yeah, what a hypocrite Wilford Brimley was. That will be a different kind of show where it won't be like kids going through puberty. It's like a show about dating and relationships and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to start that. So I'm excited that we're continuing that, like this team,
The
of
machine
people.
you built.
And I think it makes sense for a viewer to be like, oh, I liked Big Mouth. Now it's like about like dating and fucking as like adults.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to say about Big Mouth, similar to when I was watching The Studio. Have you watched The Studio?
I watched most of it, yeah.
Okay, there's so many accomplishments in The Studio. It's just like, technically it's so impressive.
Yes.
It's so fucking funny. It's
Yes.
so well acted. But when we met with Seth about it, I was like, can you zoom out and take a little bit of pride about the people that are willing to come be with you?
Yeah.
And when I look at the amount of people you've had on Big Mouth over the last 8 years, are you able to take in what a testament it is to your character and just that people would want to work with you? Like that, to me, I would hope would be one of the nicest things about the show.
Yes, thank you. That's a very nicely observed thing, and it's true. I have a tremendous amount of pride in like the core group who was on that show. Is like, I mean, it's Mulaney, it's
all stars.
it's Maya Rudolph, it's Fred
Fred.
Armisen. It's Jordan Peele's like literally last acting job.
Wow.
yes.
Literally, my friend Jesse Klein, a genius writer performer, and now Io Debris and Jason Mantzoukas. That's like the core cast. Andrew Rannells. Then the people that we've had on the show, it's insane. A few years ago, Cynthia Erivo came to me and was like, I'd love to do something on the show. I was like, great. We first went to her with this character, a song to do. And we were like, hey, we have this amazing thing. And she listened to it. She was like, amazing. Let me hear the demo. And she heard it and she was like, this is a great song. She's like, but I am a diva. And, she doesn't mean like I'm a diva, but like I'm a diva. And so for me to sing this song has to change
Yes.
to make sense for me to sing it.
Right.
So I have to.
You don't invite Jordan to play, well, no, he is good at golf.
Maybe invite him to play golf. 'Cause you could probably win a couple $100,000 off him. As good as a basketball player is, he's a fine golf.
He's fine. He's fine. He's better
But
than
not
me,
with
but-
the way I've been fucking
He's gonna
playing.
come for you. He has vendettas.
Oh, and that's when it became personal. That whole last
I
dance,
know.
everything is just like, that's when it became personal. It's like,
Most of his energy was figuring out how he could hate his opponent.
it's so,
It's so
I know,
creative.
Even his Hall of Fame speech. Go back and watch his Hall of Fame speech.
Is he airing some?
He's like nitpicking like the guy who made the team in high school over him. It's like, bro, you did it. But it's like you can't become Michael Jordan without making
Exactly.
an enemy of, you have to be a fucking killer.
And it proves, more importantly, you can't heal those wounds. You think
Yeah, fuck.
a trophy and success will heal those wounds. No, you actually just got to go heal those
But
wounds.
I think that's what the great mystery of life, and however you're competitive, whether you're an athlete or if you're making stuff, that you have to figure out how to continue to, whatever those wounds created that generates your ambition, your drive, your desire to make things or to be great. How can you heal that thing and maintain that like drive?
Yes, harness it and then put it away when you need to put it away.
And that's a really hard thing to do because that inner critic is what drives you and it's also what destroys you. Coming back to what you're saying, Cynthia Erivo doesn't do that part. Then we come back to her like, would you like to play Missy's vagina? And she's like, I would love to.
She's
And so
great. as
So she plays Missy's vagina. I mean, there's a scene with, it's Cynthia Erivo, Io Debris as Missy, Quinta Brunson as the doctor, and Tandaway Newton as Missy's hormone monster. And I'm like, I look at that scene, I'm just like, this is fucking heavy hitters across the board.
Yes.
Lupita Nyong'o, like we have multiple Oscar
There's a
winners.
cast of an Alexander Payne movie or
It's
something.
so funny. We're gonna make some video that'll come out that's like there's like 34 Oscar nominations
Holy
or
shit.
18 Oscars in the show.
Shall we talk for a second about I Don't Understand You?
Sure.
Tell us what happens in this.
So this movie is me and Andrew Rannells. We are married, going on our like 10-year anniversary, like trying to kind of hold on to our marriage a little bit. We've been trying to adopt a baby unsuccessfully. And we go to Italy and we end up in this like little Nona's house in the middle of nowhere, Orvieto, like, and shit goes wrong.
One after another.
It's like a crazy night, basically. What feels like you're watching at the beginning is like, oh, it's like a kind of a sweet little rom-com, like, oh, couple struggling on vacation.
Yeah.
And then it all unfurls into like a farce thriller,
Ooh.
very funny, bloody,
Ooh.
funny,
Yeah.
farcey.
Yeah, you're a neurotic, controlling.
I'm a bit neurotic, a bit controlling, and he's like the loose, kind of fun, flighty one. It's this couple, David Craig and Brian Crano, wrote and directed the movie. It's based in part on their personal stories of like trying to adopt, and then a vacation in Italy that like went off the rails that they combined, and they wrote and directed it together. And Andrew and I have known each other for now a long time.
You guys bonded over not wanting to kiss Kristen Bell.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
You both were like, I don't get it.
Watching Andrew Reynolds and Kristen Bell kiss would be a delight.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Beautiful white people.
Yeah, that's right.
So white and
Aryan.
so
Yeah, I know.
beautiful. They could sing together.
Oh my God.
I'm rooting
Truly.
for them.
I know. I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
That is the Todd Haynes movie. That is the Todd Haynes movie that I really want to see.
We put
But he's been a big part of Big Mouth. We've been friends. He's done and he's just the funniest, most talented guy. And he's got that, obviously, like that Broadway. He can sing like an angel, but he's deeply funny.
Yeah.
And a great actor. And so we got to, and it's Amanda Seyfried plays the woman who we're trying to adopt a baby from, who is like, we're FaceTiming with us. She's like, I'm going to give you my baby. And we're like in the middle of like an Italian village, like
Yeah.
covered in blood. Have you ever shot with your family? Have you gone on location with your family to shoot a lot?
I went with Kristen to Italy when we were newly dating.
Yes.
But not with kids. That was outrageously fun.
Yes.
I've taken the kids to London where she was working, and that was not outrageously fun.
And on a cruise, the cruise ship.
And a fucking active cruise ship. I've got a 1 and 3-year-old.
Was that the Rogan? Was that
Yes.
Laura Miller
Yes,
Rogan's
yes,
movie?
yes.
Which is a really fun movie
Absolutely.
Father.
If, not,
Yes.
if you're in it.
with Kelsey Grammer. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dear Lord.
What were
Wait,
you going to
so-
say? Do you love it? Or
You have this dream of you're like, I'm going to go make this movie in Italy. My wife was like, let's go to Italy. You got this. Let's go to Rome and like make this movie. And we had our son at that point who was like going to be nearly 2. And so he was like starting to like be not like a tiny little baby. We're like, let's go. And then as we get there, have realized that my wife is pregnant. And
well, what do you do about doctor visits?
well, it was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Mamma mia,
So-
Papa Pia, baby's got a diarrhea.
Baby got a diarrhea.
Hey, do you want to hear really quick? Aaron and I, my best friend, we figured out where that saying comes from. It is from like the 1900s, early 1900s, and a woman brought her baby to the Italian doctor.
Mamma mia.
Yes, Mamma mia, Papa Pia, baby's got a diarrhea.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a big deal.
Oh, or is it?
We've weaponized it, but it was just good news. They were so worried the baby was something wrong.
Or is the baby dying of dysentery?
Yeah, or rotavirus
Yeah.
pre-vaccine.
That's
Oh
with the
my
RFK.
That's all circles back to RFK.
It always does. So you have this idea of what the movie's going to be. And it was like me and Andrew Reynolds working together, dream. Me and my wife in Italy, our son no longer a little baby in
Making
Rome.
memories.
Making memories, making movies.
Eating pasta.
Making love.
Oh,
Hey, now we're
boy.
talking.
And all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's a month of night shoots 45 minutes outside of Rome. And
Oopsies.
you know, it's all like so much of the movie takes place at night. It's like, and the making of the movie was a blast. But I would get home at like 5 a.m.
Oh no! And your son
And-
wants a party.
And my son at 7 a.m. wants to party
Oh.
and has revolted against. We brought our nanny with us, and my son wants no part of that.
He's done with that.
He is scraping at the door to get, and I'm like,
Oh.
I've just like washed like mud and rain off, and I've like lied into bed. And it's just like, wow, and like a busker playing like an electric violin outside. So it was like at 7:30 in the morning, my son's like, I want to go to the park, and I'm just hearing like. I'm just here like bum 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 bum. I'm just like Coldplay.
It was madness.
It was. That's what's interesting about early days of family and life and marriage. It's like you're learning on the fly of like how to do these things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of make these choices, mistakes.
Yeah.
Making the movie was not a mistake at all. I'm really proud of the movie. I love it. But it was a very hard physical thing to
Yes.
figure out.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But I then now watch the movie and I'm like, I love the movie. Like I showed my wife the movie and she's like, I was so relieved that she was like, oh, this is great. Like,
right.
so
It was
this-
all worth it.
Yes.
Mm, that
And
is
we
good.
also had unbelievable times and moments. Like I would go with my son up to Via Borghese, like that park above the Spanish Steps.
Mhm.
Just massive park in Rome. And I would like take him on like a little merry-go-round and walk him around and go to the zoo and like just laugh at these animals. You in a cage, you dumb idiots. You got
Look at
stuck
us.
here. Look at us.
We're free.
Free. Now excuse me, I actually have a pickup in 13 minutes and I gotta go. I have real thoughts. on
Oh,
Italian
on a
food.
oh my God. Are they controversial?
Go see me on the road to see the material.
Oh.
Hey.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Yeah. So how many dates do you do a year?
I don't do much. I don't do many dates. Like I stand up. I did a special. I don't know. It's now like 22 or 23.
Mhm.
So
Was so good.
thank you very much. It's called Little Big Boy
Yes.
on Netflix. And then I always have like 20, 30 minutes in the pocket that I'm working on or playing with. I'm going to go do some dates this summer with I'm doing a couple dates with Mulaney, Birbiglia, Fred Armisen at some big festivals in Canada. I'm doing another festival in Canada with like Kumail Jeselnik and Michael Che. And then I'm doing some, mess around stuff here and there. I'm always at Largo in LA when I'm here.
We recently read the top 10 earners of stand-up, and
Yes.
we were just
Whew.
aghast.
Yeah. By the way, I was going to say I got to buy diapers, but I got to say I didn't always have to buy diapers because I got your guys' products, which was really grateful for.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we really used.
It went bankrupt, and we no longer have anything to do with it.
I had a feeling.
yeah.
Thought I'd be hearing more about it. Had a feeling.
You
Yeah.
thought maybe those diapers were going to
Good
come
at
back into
business.
play.
Good at business.
Yeah, good at business.
Really good at business.
Good
especially the
at
diaper
business, medium at diapers.
Yeah. And even less so with my beer company.
No, that was
NA
you're
beer? NA
enjoying.
beer?
Yeah, I have Aaron and I have an
Oh.
NA beer. Yeah.
Can I try it? Are you still
Absolutely.
doing it? Please send it.
They're good.
Yeah, it's
I've
outrageous.
weirdly, I still drink much less than I used to, but my skin is so crazy that when I drink alcohol, sometimes my face will become wildly flush.
The Asian in you comes out.
Yeah, well, I'm married to an Asian woman, and I've always had a bit of but it makes the Asian flush look very cool compared to what happens to my face, which looks like a storm, like a weather, like
angry,
a
hostile.
Doppler, like a weird, there's a tornado because it's not clean. It's not like being like
Sure,
an
splotchy.
Archie comic. It's like
and it's moving.
Yeah,
it's gaining strength.
So that's what I do. Is I do a couple NA beers.
Uh-huh.
I do 5 to 10 mushroom chocolates.
Uh-huh.
I crush up some gummies.
Yeah.
Pop those right
Bang
up the
those back
schnozeroo.
nasally.
You got to really crush them up, folks.
Yeah.
You got to really, and I want to be responsible on this podcast. If you're going to snort your edibles, you got to pulverize them.
Use a mortar and a pestle.
Yeah,
A lot of people
course,
aren't.
they don't know.
And bring that with you everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go.
Your mortar and pestle. All right. Well,
real quick about
yes,
the
yes.
special. You do a bit about moms being
Yes.
annoying. And that is so spot on and good. And I think about it
every time it was your mom.
definitely
Every time you
every
get a
time
phone
I
call,
talk
you're
to
from
my
your mom.
mother. We are on the heels of Mother's Day. We're coming
Yes.
up on Mother's Day. And yeah, I think about it all the time. They are so annoying, but we love them.
Yeah.
It's the most thankless job in the
Such a
world.
wild job and
It's-
upsetting.
It's brutal.
Have you watched Love on the Spectrum?
I've watched a little bit of it.
Watch a little bit more just to get this. And I think this was Kristen's observation. The thing that unites all kids on the spectrum is they are relentlessly mean to their mothers.
But that's just
They
all
don't have,
kids.
they don't, whatever
Right.
the thing,
filter is that we all are like,
every one of them
Yeah.
is so, every time their mom starts talking, they're like, oh, mom. Like,
they can't.
like these poor mothers, they have this kid that they have to give so much time
Yes,
to.
yes.
And
And
the
they're just
reward is the
brutal.
kid fucking
know.
hates
Which
every
Is
time
an
they
essence
talk.
of what it is, I think, to have to be a mother.
Yes.
Which is the emotional connection that we feel to mothers. Like fathers, it's not like we're nothing, but they can take or leave us a little bit.
Sure.
Moms, like, there's such an importance to that emotional connection that it also flares up. And it's tough because I think that joke is about my shortness. I do say that moms are annoying.
I mean,
but
that's the joke.
But what I believe the joke is about is my impatience, my inability to see through what she's trying to do, which is just like love me.
Yes, of
Yes.
course.
I don't know if my mother sees it that way exactly. She's like, a lot of people have talked to me about your
I'm
mother
sure they
joke.
have.
Because it does, I will say, I don't always talk about my personal life and family in stand-up. When I do, in that case, it resonates with people because I think it's something people really do connect with and can relate to.
It is the most relatable. And for this reason you're saying, everyone is just so impatient and mean to their moms.
so weird.
And they are calling to say like, hey, I just like re-upped your AAA. And it's like, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
You didn't even ask.
Yeah.
Like,
They
it's
can't do
so
anything
No, they can't do
crazy.
anything right.
No,
it's so
can't.
crazy. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
Fucking
it's
poor
fantastic.
moms. Yeah. So lastly, this is a very busy couple months for you.
Big Mouth comes out May 23rd. Adult comes out on FX on May 28th and then drops on Hulu that night, May 29th. All 8 episodes on Hulu.
And then I Don't Understand You, June 6th.
Yeah.
So every few days,
Yeah.
you have a big project coming out.
Over 3 weeks, I have 3 projects come out in 3 weeks that culminates about like
12 years a year.
15 years of my work life in over a 3-week period.
They're all dramatically different as well, which is helpful.
Yes.
It's not like you have 3 superhero movies coming out in a week and you got to somehow explain.
How
That's the
upsetting.
next year.
That's good. That'll be 20.
I can't believe I'm the bridge between DC and Marvel again. So it's all adults is.
I watched it last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You can immediately sense when something's generated by the people in the show
Yes.
and that they have some rapport and that they're real comedians and they
Yes.
weren't just kind of cobbled together with whoever had an agent.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
Like you watch Broad City and you're immediately like, yep.
Well, so it was created by Rebecca Shaw and Ben Cronengold, who are super young. When I met them, they were 24. It's been almost 4.5 years since we first met to when the show is now being made. And it's about like 20-somethings, young 20-somethings in New York and that kind of great tradition of shows. And it was like the pitch was always like, if Friends, they were in the West Village, and then by Girls and Broad City, now those kids are living in Brooklyn. Now that kid is living in like deep Queens.
Right.
They're living in
right.
like Flushing
Mm.
because that's where one of them's parents have a house where they can all live.
They're all freeloading.
Yes.
Yes.
And
And one of the gals wants to now incorporate her new boyfriend.
yes.
Yes.
And
a young Monica Padman.
Yes. She's
fantastic.
she's fucking funny. They're all, and so we cast all those kids. None of them knew each other. It's a really funny group. It's a 5 like young 20-somethings, some stand-up, some actors, some TikTok-based people, all incredibly funny performers. And they really, I do think like, my hope is like, you watch that and you're like, oh, this group of people seem like friends and there's a vibe and I'm like I wish my friends were like this, or this is what my friends are like, or this is what I remember my friends being like in my early 20s.
And you produced it?
I produced it and then directed a little of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
And when I was watching it, the thing, I don't know why I get so comforted by this. I've said this before, but when I watched English Teacher, I don't know if you've seen that show.
Yeah.
Not to get on a soapbox, but I think early when I was adjusting to the transition in comedy, which was totally righteous, that you should let the folks make the jokes who the jokes are about.
Yeah.
And I watched English Teacher and I was like, yes, this dude's gay and he's going so fucking hard on this topic.
Yeah.
And that was the solution.
Yeah.
What I didn't want was for these topics to go away.
Yeah.
Right. Or to think everyone needs to get made fun of.
Yes.
Right. But now
Let them do it themselves.
Yes. And so I think we all have this maybe knee-jerk concern that the younger generation's so fragile and precious.
Yeah.
And so the thing that was so comforting about seeing this is like, oh, they're going fucking hard. Like what the kid they know comes out about being molested. And they're just going so hard about him being molested. And I was like, oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Comedy's still very much alive. And the younger kids are going to push just as fucking hard and just let them do it.
Yeah.
That's the part I really liked about the show.
So the creators, Ben and Rebecca, again, super young. They are fully Gen Z. So they like love their friends and they love their generation, but they also see what is inherently silly about it.
Yeah.
And so the show is kind of that, where it's like they're making fun of like all the preconceptions or they're making fun of everything that we sort of feel about Gen Z, but it's also with like real love.
It's coming from the inside.
Yes.
And not the outside.
Yes. And so it's not like these fucking Gen Z kids,
Yeah.
these sensitive, whatever it is. My hope is that it's a little post-identity politics.
Yes.
So they're just sort of existing inside of it, and it's not like, as this person, I feel this way. It's not that.
Right.
Is part of the hope.
No, I
Like
think
that.
it's I was just enormously relieved watching it. Like, oh, good, comedy's gonna win. And the right
Can we
people.
put that? Is it too late to put on the poster? Dax Shepard. I was enormously relieved.
Because I go into everything thinking, these fucking precious. They can't
I
even
know.
take a
You
joke
have
about
your-
each other.
Yeah.
At least I
differences.
hope I'm owning it.
You are.
Yeah. Okay.
No, but
Thank
it's
you,
it's
Monica.
I really again it's Ben and Rebecca when they first came to me, again, this was like, again, speaking of how long these things take, my first email correspondence with them is like November 2020 about like, let's do this.
Yeah.
So they were like, we love Big Mouth. We want to make like live action Big Mouth for our 20s.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And it has become its own thing entirely, but it was like, there is a natural feeling of like, oh, what we're trying to do with puberty, they're doing with their early 20s, like this moment in life that you are in this space and like, what's funny about it? And how can we heighten that out and do some sort of surrealist things about it that like speak to the emotional truths that lie underneath it?
Yeah. If you have a tone, it's that it goes hard.
It goes fucking hard.
Fun.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you're talking about me, and I would never say that about myself. It's so funny where I'm like, yeah, I go fucking hard.
Yeah. Of course you wouldn't say that. Billy Bottles. What's his name?
No, Billy Bottles.
Billy Bottles.
It's my Billy Bob Thornton doing Bobby
Can
Bottle
I
service.
be your brother that shows up as Billy Bottles?
Yeah.
And what's
Please.
he saying?
I do want
I'll
to
take
bring
the
back
big ones.
Bobby Bottle service because I think he'd be like way into crypto.
Oh,
Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I bought fucking Doja Cat coin at 8, dude. And now it's down to 4. But I'm using positivity and maximizing my potential to move to Puerto Rico so that I should be able to make all my money back and then some.
Never sell. That's the thing. Never.
Never sell, never settle. Here's the other option. Go entirely on emotion. Buy, sell, go with the market. Keep going with the market. and
Chase
every-
Chase.
Change course.
Don't lead. You want to chase in finance.
Never trust your instincts.
I want to have a quick conversation with Coach Steve
Okay.
as Hermium Permium.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like they share an essence, and I just want to see how it
I'm
goes.
excited to see this.
So I'm just going to introduce you to Hermium Permium. He lives by himself in an apartment, and it goes pretty well. Where do you live, Steve?
I'm not living anywhere particular, so I'm just wondering if you got extra space in that place. Maybe we could crash together for a while.
Oh, I'd love to have some visitors over. My mom, Mrs. Monica, she's in and out sometimes, and she'll bring snacks.
Well, if Monica wants to hang out, if your mom, who it's not clear if she's alive or not, or if this is kind of a Bates Motel situation, any way you want to play it, I'll hang out with her. I'll hang out with the dead corpse. I'll do whatever you need to do. I'm here to hang forever, for long term, for whatever you need.
Do you have any allergies?
I've got a couple allergies. I'm allergic to. I've been living on a diaper barge.
Oh.
So I'm allergic. It turns out I'm allergic to all the diapers that are on there, the used diapers.
I have bee stings.
Are you allergic to the bees?
The sting, I think.
Oh, wait, you. I should mention I'm also dying.
Oh, no.
I've got TB. I got classic TB.
Oh, no. I had an uncle who passed.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Does he need company? Should I
was-
go hang out with him?
This has been great. Okay, and then the last one, I want to do Frito talking to Hormone Monster.
Oh God.
Because I feel like we could go somewhere that might
I'm
make Monica
scared.
throw up. She
Yeah.
hates Frito.
Does she hate the hormone monster?
Oh, the hormone monster's scary too.
Oh, this guy's awesome. If you met my hormone monster, he's so horny.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Frito Lay is better than just about anyone I know.
Tell him more. Tell her everything.
Oh, he puts it in, he gets it out,
Oh,
puts it back in.
I can do it forever, Monica.
Yeah,
oh,
he
why?
can't-
I don't
he
want to
can't
be
come.
here.
I can't do it because it's so sexy.
Yeah, because he likes the edge. He brings it right to the edge.
I live on the edge, Monica.
He lives on the edge. Yeah, that's right. He lives on the edge in New York. If you ever go to the Hudson Yards, that weird tower that they built, it's called the Edge.
Yeah, I like to hang out there. Have you ever eaten steak, monster?
I love to eat steak. I go to Morton's.
Oh.
Bobby Bottle service.
Oh, you ever have a ribeye steak?
Oh, dude, ribeye's the best steak you could ever eat, dude.
Oh,
Nothing like power of that. What's
I
your
can't
favorite?
even afford a ribeye, but they're delicious.
Oh, buddy. I'll take you get a ribeye, and then we'll make some extra butter for that mashed potatoes if you know
Oh,
what I
you
mean.
know what butter is code for, Monica?
Oh,
Sauce.
Oh, thank you. That
Wow.
was disgusting.
Wow, that was
People are throwing
disturbing
up.
and
Your fucking
disgusting.
vocal cords are done.
I know. We have killed you.
You're gonna have to double up on the Zeep. On the
Can
Zeep.
you double a Zeep?
You gotta
Can
double,
you double
the
it?
I always double my Z. Nick, you're a blast. I wish you came more frequently
too.
than every 7
That's
years,
what
but
my
I'll take
wife
you.
said.
Hey, got a dish.
And by the way, it's so crazy. The show was already working 7 years ago, but to watch your show absolutely explode over these 7 years has been amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. You're part of that success story. Everyone
really
in the
am.
first year when there was no reason to trust us.
Yeah, we appreciate
I have
you all.
deep gratitude. Next time you have 3 projects coming out in a week, please come back.
I hope it's, but not before too long.
Yeah.
I don't mean that.
And congrats on getting married and having 2 children since
Thank
we
you.
saw you
Yeah.
last. Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm happy
And,
for you.
I wish you could have been congratulating me for being a part of
Making out with
Netflix's
my wife.
show.
Yeah,
Making out
you
with your
just
wife.
wouldn't do it.
Oh no, we're still making out. Just now we're doing it on TV.
Okay. Well, then I'm relieved by that. I don't mind that you're not in the show, but the fact that you're disgusted by my bride is unacceptable. All right, be well.
Thank you for having me.
He's an armchair expert, but he makes mistakes all the time. Thank God Monica's here. She's gonna let him have the facts.
I got my hair cut today. Barb did my hair.
Where'd
Barb
you find
Thompson.
Barb? Barb Chopstick? What'd you say?
Don't ever say that
No,
again.
what did you say?
Barb Thompson.
Thompson. Okay.
She's awesome. And she's done my hair before. She did it for a gala.
Okay.
One of the only galas I've ever been to. And she's great.
Always
So-
a bridesmaid, never a gala.
I know. And she said you did a
Are
great
you
job.
growing your hair out on your legs too?
Ah, don't look. I just haven't shaved. Fuck.
Oh, but I didn't know if you were making a decision like everyone's
Oh
making. That
my
was a fair question.
God.
What happened? I'm
I can't
sorry.
believe you did that. I wanted
wanted to
count-
celebrate you if you were
Fuck
embracing.
that. No.
Okay.
I take care of my hair.
Okay.
I just haven't, and it's hot out.
Yeah, that's great. Can you understand there's a movement where women aren't shaving anymore? And I thought maybe you joined that
I
movement.
was really actually self-conscious
Oh,
that
and I
it
made it
would get
worse.
noticed. And I was like, there's no way anyone will notice. And you noticed immediately.
I'm very observant. You know this about me.
I know.
I don't miss a thing.
It just takes a long time to shave.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I shave my arms now. I have all this money tied up in these tattoos,
Yeah,
and I want them to be visible.
That makes sense. Well, you know, I also I have to groom my arms, my legs, my armpits,
I know,
my vagina parts.
Yeah, and I feel
vulva.
terrible for you. I've said
my
that now
eyebrows.
that I'm grooming a lot.
Yeah, it sucks. Speaking of, how's the cashmere? We haven't even seen it in a while.
Well, you know who's a real producer is Delta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But are you collecting?
Yeah, it's growing. Although I may have I'm now thinking I might have a nice deposit in the drawer in my bathroom.
Oh,
I think
great.
maybe I haven't transferred some to the
Okay, great.
main storage.
Okay, great.
Okay, I had been wanting to tell you a story.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we all went to Monster Jam on Saturday.
Yeah. Describe we all.
Okay, so we all is Charlie and the boys, Ace and Wilder, the 2 handsomest men in Los Angeles. And then my girls, Lincoln and Delta, and then Delta's friend.
Fun.
Yeah, and then Eric. Yeah, that's all. So we went. It was immediately fun. It's so fun. Monster Jam's so fun. We got to ride in the 12-passenger monster truck.
Fun.
That's great. I was kind of not clocking any of this, but apparently Delta and her friend had brought their 2 most important stuffies in a red bag. I didn't know that. I probably would have been like, maybe we don't bring them into the event.
Can you describe the stuff?
Yes, it's imperative that people understand the stakes here. So anyone that knows Delta would know her son Groot.
Oh my God.
Groot is her
I don't
life.
even count Groot as a stuffy. When you said
He's
that,
not.
I wasn't thinking of him. He's a real boy.
He really
unlike
is.
the robot.
I don't know that I've ever seen, and I had very deep relationships with my stuffies. I had 3 bears that I loved, and I thought about them, and if I was gone too long, I felt guilty. Like,
Yeah.
I was very in touch and close with my
What were
stuffies.
their names?
I didn't name them. Just one was a polar bear, one was a brown bear, and one was like a
Panda?
koala bear. They were different breeds, so I didn't breeds.
I
The
see.
species.
So you just said koala, polar.
I just never was like
You never called to
addressing them. I was
Okay.
just squeezing them and feeling guilty.
But what if like it was downstairs and you had to tell your mom like, oh my God, Polar is missing.
that would never like?
It would never happen.
I would never.
Lose track.
Never.
Okay.
And they didn't travel out of my room either
Oh.
because I was too afraid something would happen to them in the wild. Okay, but to put like this in perspective, Groot goes everywhere with us.
Mm-hmm.
Groot has truly a bigger wardrobe than Delta.
Yeah.
He has many different jammies. He has swimwear. He has
for
like
Delta's birthday, she'll often ask for clothes for Groot.
that. Mostly that's all she asks for is things
Yeah.
for Groot.
Ugh.
And he has books he reads and he's an artist and she makes him dinner and he like it's such a huge part of her life, Groot.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know this. I learned this recently about Groot. She was kind of explaining what was going on with him athletically. And then I said, is Groot disabled?
Oh.
And she said, yeah, Groot is disabled. And I said, oh, what's his disability? And she said, well, he's half tree and half boy. So he needs to breathe carbon dioxide as a tree, but he needs to breathe oxygen as a boy. So his lungs are like half dedicated to breathing. And so that's kind of an impairment for his cardiovascular. Additionally,
Stop.
this is all real. Like I didn't even know Groot was disabled.
Well, obviously.
But I just had a hunch. There was some way she was talking about his athleticism and his outfit.
Sure.
I don't know. I asked, and he is. And then she went on to tell me another challenge he has is he's got both veins,
Uh-huh.
and then he also has to have plumbing for the water.
Yeah.
So it's
for
like
the
his
tree.
body's sharing a lot of
Wow. Double duty.
double duty. Also, his bark hasn't come in, and that's going to make him more stable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
He's
so there's a lot
fragile to
going
the
on.
elements. Okay. Wow.
And I'm going to be honest, I love Groot. Like
Yeah,
he's
I
also my
know.
grandson. And when we snuggle at night, I go, I want a little time with Groot. So he has to be
Oh,
in
and
my
does
nook.
everyone have to leave?
No. Just I will want Groot in my left nook and Delta in my right nook if we're all laying together. But she's got to give me some
You don't
grandpa
have
visit.
any. Okay, never mind.
Anyway. Uh-oh.
Never mind. I don't want to say.
Okay, good. I think I'm afraid
It's
I know.
because you
it.
like him in your nook and like a
Yeah.
kid, like a kid.
Yeah, like a little baby boy. So, okay. So great time. We're having the best time. Now we're up in this huge suite. There's like 50 people in there. It's a blast. It's hectic. And Delta comes up like mid-show. Again, I'm going to say it. I've said it before. There's no better show on earth than Monster Jam. It starts and it doesn't let up. Race, stunts.
Yes.
So it's a party. We're eating food. And then Delta comes up to me and she is, she's past, like she's, I don't want to say she's hyperventilating. She is so
No.
scared and panicked.
Oh, no.
And she said, we lost Groot. And I'm like, what do you mean? I didn't even know Groot was in here. We lost the bag. So her friend was in charge of carrying the bag. She brought it in here. Someone maybe stole it or whatever. And I'm like, okay, no one stole it. Everyone that came is still here. No one left mid-time, you know? So now we start scouring all the bathrooms in there. And then we go through systematically and we look under every single chair. This takes 35, 40 minutes.
Mhm.
I'm missing the Monster Jam.
Sure. But you can hear it still.
I can hear it. That is helpful. And I say at some point, okay, it's not in here, which means it didn't come up here.
Oh.
Now, we arrived and we went right out onto the arena floor to take that ride. So it's like we're 7 stories up. That was pre-show. So now
Did
Charlie
they
and I,
take him into the monster truck?
Yes. So, well, here becomes the investigation. So then Charlie and I'm like, oh, I made a video of them I'm like, did they even bring the bag out of the car?
Right.
I'm like,
Let's
okay,
hope not.
I took pictures.
Yeah.
I take some, oh, yeah, there's the red bag. Then I have footage of them getting on to the monster truck and she's carrying the bag. We don't have footage of them getting off, but I'm like, but she would have never set it down in the elevator or on the walk. It definitely had to get left in the truck. So now, exactly. And we're now mid-show. This is hours later. And is
that truck like out on the thing?
No, that truck has now been already put in a trailer to go to the next Monster Jam. So I asked my friend Sally, who I've been going to Monster Jam with Sally as our host for, I don't know, 8 years now.
Yeah.
She's an incredible lady.
Nice.
She's an armchair.
Oh, shout out.
She's so sweet. And I'm like, I don't know what else to do, but like, here's the situation. She's a mom. She put out a full court press. Okay, I'll try to get into that truck. Like, I'll try to find the truck in the parking lot and try to get into the semi to get into this monster,
my God.
blah, blah, blah. So like an hour goes by and Delta's really like, she lost her son.
Oh my God.
And I'm very pessimistic. I'm like, who knows? They set that bag down anyway. There were so many bags and so many things and so much equipment. And it's in an arena. So I was really, really pessimistic. And then the show ends. And then we just sit there for another 45 minutes while the whole place clears out. We're kind of like waiting to see if they're going to find group. And then she says, well, you guys are free to, if you want to just wait in the car. So anyways, we go sit in the car now. And then I get a text from Sally and it's a picture of her and she's elated and she's holding the bag. She found the bag in a random golf cart somewhere.
No.
Yeah. It was
on its way to the trash.
On its way to a sex trafficking.
Don't say that. Oh my God. Oh my God. What a tale.
Oh my God. It was the amount of relief I felt.
So obsessed, scary.
When that bag returned. I was starting to think about what our next 2 weeks to a month. Like I was like, this is going to be.
Imagine what it's like to lose your son. You never get over it.
Yeah, it's going to be devastating in a way that I'm not sure how we're all going to deal with. We lost Groot forever.
That is.
And then I said to her, I was like,
scary.
Once we had Groot, I was like, I started thinking like, what do I do? Would you have wanted me to find the same Groot? And she's like, no. Yeah, because it's real and he's real and there's no replacing him.
Well, and so she answered our long lasting question about would you clone?
Would you clone your dog or your kid?
She won't.
She won't. Yeah, I guess she has.
She's like me.
Yeah, she has. I guess she has ethics. I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know what that means ethically.
Oh, gosh, that's why. But okay, if he had gotten in the monster truck and then got sent to the next monster truck show, that's a kid's book. That's a children's book.
And like they love him and he becomes kind of a mascot for Monster Jam.
Yes, but then he returns back home always.
Yeah, but he's like, now he chews tobacco and he's grown up a little bit.
We have different versions of the story.
Well, he's on the Monster Jam tour.
Yeah, he is. He's on the tour.
He's not going to like symposiums on physics.
But it's very Toy Story.
Yes. He could have been on a real adventure.
I don't think all the dust from the monster truck would be good for his lungs.
Well, not given what I've learned about his. Yeah. Now, what if like the driver of Gravedigger found him and started keeping him on the dash?
Oh.
And we could then we were watching and he was riding on the dash proudly.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
Oh, it was really an event. Yeah, so I missed a good half of Monster Jam, both looking for and then panicking over.
Sally, really hero.
Sally, oh my God, the hero of all heroes.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to ask me at some point what I would pay for his safe return, it would have been embarrassing.
I know, but Dax, that's life. It's like you can't buy health. Well, actually, I mean, to an extent you can, which is a problem. But, that's why health is the most important thing we have.
And just being there, I guess.
Being alive.
Yeah, being there. Being present.
Well, I'm also grateful because I immediately got codependent for the girl, the friend. So, can you imagine?
No, I know. So that was all happening. She now feels so guilty and she's crying.
Yes.
Delta's crying inconsolably.
Yep.
Her friend's crying.
Yeah.
And
This is the worst
I'm
day.
like the dad watching. And so I kept going, oh, sweetie, it's totally okay. Delta should have been carrying her own bag. It's not
that's
things
nice
easy.
you
Yeah. I
said.
was like trying to comfort her
Yeah.
and trying to comfort Delta. Her Groot is in there too.
Oh, it is?
She's got the double whammy. She's lost her stuffy and she lost Delta's stuffy.
Who was her stuffy?
I didn't get a good gander at it once they were all reunited. I didn't even know we were bringing stuffies to Monster
Not
Jam.
anymore.
I hope not. And then, okay, now this is the thing that we go back to. We've been talking about this the last few episodes. I'm like, and I'm talking to Charlie and Eric. I'm like, all I got to do is keep trying to find Groot and not say, this is why we don't bring. What you want to say as a parent is, this is why we don't bring
Toys
stuffies to sporting events.
Yep.
And I was like, she has learned that lesson. I don't need to tell her that.
Right.
She is in major discomfort.
Yeah.
And so I let it go. But then on the way home, I was just saying how grateful I was that he's
You're
back
slipping it in a little bit.
a little bit.
Okay.
And then I said, he's just so valuable. We got to make sure that we're safe when we bring him places. She goes, but he can't just be a boy that lives at home and doesn't go and do things. I can't just be protecting him from. And I'm like, that. I know that's a great
That's how
point,
you
but there's
parent.
a ton of things we can take him to so he's not stuck in the house, but that are also maybe not so distracting as Monster Jam.
This is complex because this is how you feel about your kids. This is how you parent them. You're like, I'm going to let them go explore the world.
Mm-hmm.
And another person could say, look, they're a little too valuable for that. Don't let them just go down the street to Ralph's
Right.
where there's crazies.
Yeah.
So it looks like she's
inherited my parenting.
Looks like it's nurture.
Yeah, in this case.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. I would have been
You
really,
understand.
Yeah, I would have been so sad if I would have been happy for him if he was on an adventure, but we know that really he would have gone in the trash.
Well, he's so cute.
Dax, missing persons after like 48 hours, they're dead.
Okay, so you think he might someone murder him?
Trash.
Okay. I just can't imagine holding that little guy. He's so sweet looking.
Oh, I know.
I told her that's why I didn't know he had a disability because he's so smiley. I have no idea he's suffering from anything. He's in a perpetually great mood.
Well, that's the thing.
He's
Is
got
he
the
in
best
pain
attitude.
or
It
is...
sounded like there's some pain accompanying
Okay.
these.
Okay.
Yeah. The
Now,
whole carbon
don't
dioxide thing is.
trick her into getting like pain meds for him.
I might see if we can get
No.
some nerve blockers.
Oh my God. Wow. That isn't quite an adventure. I'm
Yeah.
really glad that had a happy ending.
Oh, me too. Anything fun happened to you?
Yeah. Okay. So you've been gone a couple days.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I've watched 2 full seasons of You, the show You, which reminds me I want to play the
That's
thing.
a show about me?
Exactly. It's about time that we revisit that because I'm watching
Oh,
it.
it's such a great exchange.
Okay, let's.
Laura Ingraham?
Yeah.
You want me to put on the TV?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can. This is my favorite clip of all time. And now it has extra meaning because I'm watching the show.
Is it a great show?
I love it. It has real Veronica Mars vibes.
Oh, fun.
But it's like Dexter meets Veronica Mars. But I've never seen Dexter.
Okay.
Okay, let's watch this real quick.
Yeah.
I was watching an episode of You where measles came up. Wait. When did I mention measles? I don't know. It was on You. Wait, what was on me? What are you talking about? The measles and the vaccine I never had the measles. Was on You. We never did a measles and vaccine episode. Is this a joke? I know what you're talking about. It was on You. It was on You. I've never had Raymond. I've never had measles. What are you talking about? It's stupid. It was an episode of a show, Laura. What's it called? You. You've never done a show on measles. I just completely give up. We gotta get It's a show called You on Netflix. It's a show called Laura and I'm moving on to Adele. I can't explain this to you.
What was he talking about?
Had an Oprah.
So stupid.
It's so funny.
It's a real life Who's on First.
It really is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Anyway, so I started You random. It like popped up as the next. This never works out.
You're right. Auto recommend.
Autoplay or whatever. And I was like, sure, why not? Watch the whole thing. And then last night stayed up so late I couldn't even look at the time. I was too afraid to look.
Oh, wow.
And watched all of season 2.
How many episodes in each? 10?
10.
So you watched 20
They're
episodes.
like 45-ish minutes.
Whoa.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, so it is Penn Badgley from Gossip Girl, who I
Okay.
loved back then, Dan Humphrey.
Okay, great.
And he has a podcast, but also I saw there's like an Instagram kind of viral video of him like dancing on one of these talk shows. And I was well.
Okay.
I in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh yeah, I love him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he
so
pops
dancing is attractive.
up. Yes, you know what? It is.
Okay,
I'm gonna circle back.
okay.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Right. You just didn't put it very high on the list.
Yeah, but turns out it's really high.
Yeah.
So anyway, then it pops up and he's a stalker. Like he's obsessed with this woman.
Uh-oh.
There's like murder.
Ooh.
He's a psychopath, but it's a love story and he's hot. And it's confusing.
Yeah.
It's sexy, it's scary.
Yeah. Very thin line for women there.
Well, I know, and I hated myself, of course.
Sure.
I heard him say on an interview something like that, like, or someone asked, like, what do you think of when people say he's hot?
Yeah.
And he was like, he's a killer.
Right.
So I saw that clip before I watched the show and I was like, yeah, he's right. This is, people are crazy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I'm like, he's hot.
Yeah.
He's also tricky because he's like kind of a good boyfriend if he wasn't a murderer and putting people in cages.
Right.
Yeah.
Who just was everyone obsessed with that's also was a murderer? Wasn't there recently someone everyone thought was hot? Is it the United Health
Oh, God.
assassin?
Yeah.
Were people like really horny for him?
Yes.
Luigi.
That one, that's real life, so I find that much more complicated. I do not think he's
You don't
hot.
think he's hot?
No, I don't think there's anything good
Would
about
you think
killing.
he was hot without the murder?
There's no way for me to know.
Yeah, you can't go back in time. He's got very powerful eyebrows.
I don't think murder is hot in real life, and I don't think vigilantes are hot.
Okay,
I'm going to say that.
good to know.
I'm not. There's a lot of people that are like, good for him.
Oh yeah,
And I
Yeah.
disagree.
yeah.
I disagree wholly.
Yeah, I think that industry is evil, and I don't think you're allowed to kill people.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Except in the show, sometimes he does kill some people I really don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And it is
you're
vigilante.
happy.
And like, it's for kids.
Mm.
Sometimes he protects kids. He's weird. He's like kind of this like good friend and
Hard to pin down. Mixed messages.
really,
Of course you're horny for him,
really
yeah.
mixed messages.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am loving it.
Oh wow, that's great.
5 seasons.
There's 5 seasons. Oh, so you're fucked for the whole week.
I know.
So what time
except-
did you go to bed? Do you
I
know?
I really don't know, but I was so tired when my alarm went off at 9.
Okay, yeah.
and so
probably
then I
stayed
had to
up
go
till 2 or
back to
3.
bed. Probably 3.
Wow, you're nasty.
I can't help myself.
I know you're indulgent.
And because I'm scared a little. Like, it's very cliffhangery. It's very good at keeping you on the hook.
Yeah.
So I'm a little too scared in those scenarios to go to bed. Like, I need to know how it's completed. But they do a good job at the end of each season, too.
You
So
never know.
I did start episode 3, but then I was like, Monica, no.
Yeah, you got to stop.
I got to stop. So
Yeah.
I turned it off about halfway through that. When I woke up this morning,
Yeah.
after so much murder,
Yeah.
I was like, I think I need to take a break today
Uh-huh.
because it really gets infiltrated. And then it made me think this is what's happening with boys in video games.
Oh.
It's like a constant, they're living in this world that's dark and bleak and they're shooting people and stuff. And then like reality starts to disappear.
You're feeling that happen to you?
Well, I just could see it.
This is your
starting to
OCD.
creep
Like
in.
this is you think you're a killer or you think you're a pervert.
In the show, it's a lot of voiceover because you're hearing his thoughts.
Yeah.
And so then today I was kind of hearing my thoughts like that.
Right.
And I thought I need to take a break.
Yeah, take a little break.
No, but I also really want to know what happens.
going.
All right, let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about. You know, I get really
Me?
tunnel vision. It is easy. I get why.
Yeah.
I get how it happened.
She's only so culpable. It was very confusing.
But it was just...
And he didn't do a good job. Like, he should have recognized what was going on much sooner and said, it's a television show on Netflix and the title is You.
And the title is YOU.
Yes. And not Laura
But he
Ingraham.
did end up saying it's a show on Netflix called You. And she still said, "Oh, show on Netflix."
But he did say I was watching You about 7 times before it's a show on Netflix.
It's so good. I almost feel like it's fake and I don't want to like look too into it.
I don't think so.
I don't either.
It's such a genuine reaction from her.
All right. Well, that's it. Let's move into facts.
Yeah, facts.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
So facts for Nick Kroll.
When he said daddy's money, when he brought that, I keep thinking how funny that was when he said that. Do you remember that? He's like,
Yes.
I don't care because I have daddy's money.
Yeah, that was so funny. Also, I wrote down specifically when he said sick little cutie.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard at sick little cutie. I thought that was the funniest. Oh, he's just a sick little cutie.
Yeah, he was a mess. He was coughing and snorting.
Yeah,
A little
yeah.
indigestion there for a minute. I fucking loved it.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of like, oh, sick little cutie is kind of like my kink.
That is your king.
Yeah.
Sick little cutie. That could be your clothing line.
Sick little cuties.
Sick little cuties.
Anyway, that was just, it really made me laugh. He's so funny.
But it's more than that. He's got that thing some people have where he is just like infinitely comfortable in his own skin, which is so appealing.
Yeah.
It's such a comforting
Confident.
personality type.
It is.
Yeah. The women came after me. Just should I tell you that?
What do you mean?
The women on what I thought was an incredibly obvious joke about period underwear
yeah, it was
and
a
Tampax. Such a joke. Some women really came at me hard.
I think they also might, I don't know if they really think that or if they're like playing along.
They're playing your role, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We really did uncover, though, something with the X.
Yeah, I know.
Because MaxiPad,
Yeah.
Tampax,
MaxiPad would have been the first.
probably.
Yeah.
And then Nix. And then,
Thanks.
what is it?
Thanks. That's another
Things,
brand of.
Spanx. And they go on they
That's
cover your.
different, but-
Okay.
Yeah, women. X, because X
Someone said that.
chromosome.
Someone suggested that in the comments. And I think that's brilliant. And I don't think that's what it is. But that's a brilliant.
How could you possibly know?
I'm just trying to imagine the Tampax people going like, okay, let's call it, it's a tampon, but let's build on that and let's add X because of the chromosome.
What's your idea?
That they wanted to imbue a sense of max, like max comfort, max absorption, max freshness, max, what was the word?
Huh?
They had the word attached to Tampax in the ad we showed.
Oh, radiant.
Max radiance.
But it's not, it's Tampax,
Yeah.
not Tamax.
Tampaximum.
I think it's X chromosome.
It's good. It's good. We'd have to track down whoever named.
MaxiPad. That's the original. I bet you can do that and come back to us.
Do you think they're alive?
Ooh. Probably their kids or kids of kids.
Okay. Well, while you read a fact, I'm going to ask AI if the inventor of MaxiPads is still alive.
Okay, great.
Is the inventor of MaxiPads still alive?
If people listen to the CTE episode with Chris Nowinski, and then also it came up in another episode, the P Baby. We had AI make a video of us originally talking about the P Baby, the original story of P Baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm going to post it tomorrow. But so by the time you listen to this, it will be posted. And I really, really recommend people going to watch this. It'll be on our Instagram. Because for one, the story is just, you need a good reminder of the pee baby. But the AI is hilarious.
Oh, I can't wait to see
and
it.
it's like a version of you and me. Like the AI made versions of
Wow.
us. It's so
Oh, I can't wait to
funny.
see.
Yeah.
Were you holding this as a surprise for me?
No, I was
just
gonna-
forgot.
I'm doing stuff, you know.
Sure, you got things to do.
Anyway, so check that out. Check out the P baby and the AI. It just reminded me AI.
Okay, great.
Did it respond?
Well, it had to have. Mary Beatrice Davidson Kenner, an African-American inventor, is renowned for her development of the adjustable sanitary belt, a precursor to the modern maxi pad. Okay, so they really went back. That was 1912.
Oh, wow.
She passed away in 06, so that's off the table. Kenner's invention, patented, featured a moisture-proof pocket designed to hold menstrual pads securely in place. The innovation. Okay, Kenner faced racial discrimination. That's a bummer. And of course, was awarded 5 patents. In summary, Mary Beatrice Davidson Kenner passed away in 06. Okay, so I don't know if we're giving her credit for a maxi pad or she did the belt.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we didn't learn anything.
Nothing. Absolutely
Okay,
nothing.
Great. Now, what are the most watched shows on Netflix? This is on Wikipedia. And notoriously, Netflix doesn't really release this information. So,
Or they do it weird. They'll do like a minute. Like, so I just saw this. And congrats to Dumal and Minka Kelly, friends of the pod.
Ransom Canyon.
Ransom Canyon has 2.6 billion minutes viewed. And
Oh
to put
my
it in
God.
perspective, Mobland, which I love and is seemingly a hit, everyone I know is watching it, had like 580 million. So
Wow.
a 4.5x of second place.
Ooh-wee.
But they do minutes, right? So that's an interesting way to quantify it,
Interesting.
as opposed to like households who
Is it
watched
minutes or hours?
minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is just Wikipedia. Oh, and it's most popular television series by hours watched in their first 28 days. Number 1 is Squid Game season 1.
Yeah.
Stranger Things
Oh, yeah.
is number 2. 3 is Wednesday.
Okay.
4 is Squid Game season 2.
Mm-hmm.
5 is Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story.
Wow. I wouldn't have picked that up just from walking around and people telling me to watch stuff.
Yeah.
That one's a surprise for me.
6 is Money Heist. That was a big
European
show. Yes. I think maybe it was in Spanish, I think.
Yeah, Anna turned us on to
She
it.
loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. 6 is Money Heist Part 5.
Okay.
Interesting. 7, 8, and 9 are Bridgerton, season 1, 2, and 3.
Uh-huh.
And then 10, Money Heist Part 4.
Okay.
11, Stranger Things.
I need to give Money Heist another shot. It was subtitled.
Yeah, I think so. I know
Yeah.
I would watch that. I'm still in ER.
Oh, I know what I started, which is so fucking good.
The Pit?
Deli Boys.
Oh, I want to
Have you
watch
tried?
Deli
You gotta
Boys.
try it.
Yeah, I want to.
It's such a unique tone that they are pulling off beautifully.
Nice.
It's fantastic.
Cool. I love that.
You know, I like discovering these hiccups in my thinking.
Uh-huh.
And so there's a joke in Deli Boys.
Mm-hmm.
They have to deal with this Italian mob boss quite often,
Mm-hmm.
and they're Pakistani. And the patriarch of, not even the patriarch, one of the partners in the criminal organization, an older guy, he hates Indians, right? He's constantly talking about how he hates Indians. And so he's sitting across from this Italian mobster, and he says, Pakistani, but I'm telling the truth. Indians are terrible. And the Italian goes, oh, I thought you were Indian. And he goes, no, I'm not. They are our mortal enemy. And then the Italian mobster goes, so you guys look identical to each other and you hate one another? And he goes, oh, Cookie just got canceled. He's like then they all laugh the notion of a mobster could get canceled.
Oh, that's funny.
But then I was like, I think people do go, how do these two people hate each other so much? They're clearly related.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, yeah, I would never think that about the Irish and the English,
Exactly.
the French and the English.
Yeah.
And then I wondered if people in India are looking at those people going like, wait, you guys are the same people. Why are you fighting?
Well,
I wonder if it's like whatever in-group you're in, it seems crazy on the outside.
It's always about land and
Religion often.
but yeah, who owns what? And
Yeah.
that's very timely because India and Pakistan were
Well, this was obviously made before they've now launched missiles at each other.
but they're in a ceasefire.
Yeah.
But anyway. Okay, Seth MacFarlane and Nick, that conversation, that's the SAG-AFTRA Foundation YouTube.
Yeah.
So you can watch that there if you're interested in animation.
Pretty unique conversation.
Okay, the seasons of Seth MacFarlane's shows, how many? Family Guy, 23 seasons. American Dad, 19 seasons. Cleveland Show, 4 seasons.
46.
Wow.
46 seasons of television.
That's really it.
That's all the facts.
Yeah.
Well, Nick Kroll, we love you.
Well, there
We
was one
pray
more,
for your
not really a fact.
speedy recovery.
He's going to be sick for another 10 years or so.
Yeah. Like 6 more years he's got of being sick. We're not sick anymore.
Well, you kind of are. You're still kind of sick.
Probably more sick than I was pre-kids in general.
Yeah.
But like they just stop putting their fingers in each other's mouths and butts. And like they get a little more separated as they get older.
Speaking of kids,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was going to bring this up, but why not?
Yeah, why not? I said I was racist,
Well, no, this isn't negative towards kids.
Oh, right. I'm just saying I revealed a lot that I had some vestigial racial thinking that I caught myself.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Mother's Day, we just had Mother's Day, right?
Yeah.
It's getting increasingly harder for me.
Okay.
And I think for like so many reasons that feel overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I'm just tracking that.
Mm-hmm.
That it's starting to feel really tough. I'm glad I go home. I've gone home the last couple of years, and it's nice to be with my mom. And I know it makes them very happy, so I like doing that. But there is something about being there that's hard. When I'm there, especially for moments, events, yearly events, the passage, like time starts to feel very oppressive.
Yeah.
The passage of time.
Yeah.
We go to the same places, and I'm going to this like mall that I went to when I was in high school, and to see it be so much the same and also so different. It's just, it feels sad. It feels melancholic.
Right.
And then seeing my parents age
Yes.
is so hard.
The lack of permanence to everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can
Buddhism.
Buddhism, I know.
Yeah.
And when I'm not there, I can detach from it when I'm here.
And you can keep it time locked in your mind and memory.
Yes. And I think I can just compartmentalize in a way. Like they're there and that's happening, but I'm not seeing day to day, like the little things that are changing. So it's kind of hard to be there, even though I'm glad I make that decision. That's a little hard. And then I also know being here would be hard because all of my friends have kids.
Yeah.
And that is painful in its own way.
Uh-huh.
And like, it just feels sort of like this day's hard.
Is it painful because you feel like you're missing out on the mothering experience, or is it painful because you feel excluded from your friends in a way? Which pain is it?
I think it's both. I think it's so tricky because it's not like on a day-to-day, I think, of the pain of not having children. But on that day,
yes,
I am aware. I'm just very aware that I don't.
Yeah.
And that it wasn't really a choice. It's just the way my life went, right?
Unfolded.
Yeah. It unfolded in this way. I made decisions that took me in certain places. I'm not married to my high school sweetheart. I didn't have one, and yeah, I'm just like aware, like, oh, my life didn't go that way.
Right.
And yes, I can still make decisions that might lead to that, but it's different. It's like really different now. Me having a kid now is a real choice. It is not like, oh, I fell in love with this person and then maybe we'll have kids. That's the next step. It's I have
Oops,
to make
I'm pregnant. What do we do? Fuck it, let's do it. Yeah.
It's real hard decision making.
Yeah.
It kind of and that's an annoying thing to have to think about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess
Did
I'm
it
just
push
sharing it was a
you
hard day.
Closer or further?
I don't know.
Right.
Like it makes me feel like, oh, I wish I had that. But does it make me feel like I'm going to take those steps to do it?
If I were you, I would just want to be crystal clear if it is a desire to have the experience versus the A student in you.
I know.
That's hard to know which is driving it. But I think one is worth chasing and one is worth overcoming.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Again, that's a question that I have to ask, that I'm kind of resentful that I have to ask.
Mhm.
Resentful towards towards life, I guess, because I know that if I was married and in a partnership, I would have kids.
Right.
I would want that.
Yeah.
So
What does a guy in your situation do? Like, what does this 37-year-old guy who can't go get a donor?
well, they could.
I mean, yeah, they could, and then they got to get a surrogate, and it's definitely more complicated. You're a stop at a sperm bank away from having a kid.
Well, maybe. I mean,
maybe because of fertility, but you know, like a dude who's not loaded and can't pay for a surrogate and egg and all that stuff. I wonder how they wrestle with it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I assume it's the same feeling and the same thing. Like, I guess I have to figure out if I'm gonna like just be with a person I don't want to be with, or take those steps. In some ways, I mean, it's all hard, but I think for a man, if they have the means, I mean, a lot of women don't have the means to do any of this either.
So how much is a sperm donor? That's not terribly expensive.
But
is it?
to your egg, like, you know, do retrievals and it's expensive.
But let's just say you
have to remove the eggs in order to make the embryo to
they can't put a baster in you and do it?
Oh, they can
while
try
you're ovulating?
it. Yeah, some people, that works for some people. It's pretty hard for it to take, but it works for some people. But then if that doesn't work, you spent money doing that, and then you have to, you know, it's a lot.
Right.
But for a man, they can make the embryo, you know, they'll take the egg, the sperm, they'll make the embryo, and then they'll implant it into a surrogate.
Yeah, I imagine that's a pricey endeavor.
I'm sure. Fertility is so expensive. Another thing that's like, that's a cost that it wouldn't be a cost. I mean, having kids is an insane cost in general, but
to your mental health. And
diapers, ding, ding, ding. That came up in Nick Kroll's fact.
Types.
Your diapers, and they went bankrupt.
Yeah, my diapers went bankrupt.
Bad for business. Anyway, I just thought I would share it because I'm sure it's complicated for a lot of people.
Surely, Mother's Day.
For so many reasons.
Carrie sent me this incredible post that a girl at our high school had put on Facebook. And she was a grade younger than us, I believe. I didn't recognize her right away, but it was this really heartfelt, beautiful post about the complicated nature of Mother's Day and how she basically had to say goodbye to her mom at 16 because the mom moved to Arizona and the mom was not healthy mom. Mm-hmm. And so this girl was going to my school, living on her own.
Oh my God.
Paying for an apartment.
Ugh.
She sent it to me because she goes, side note, that's fun. I was once in detention and Dax Shepard said to me, what'd they put you in for?
Oh, that's funny.
And then went on to say, don't worry about all this. Your life's really going to start in 2 minutes. And I know mine's not ending here in this detention.
Oh, wow.
So she claimed, whether I said that or not, who knows, maybe in her mind I said that. But I'm delighted that on that detention we had, like a fun.
Yeah, an interaction.
Yeah, but it was just a really sweet post and a reminder of like, man, some kids, like the experience can be so radical. Carrie sent it to me going, I'm such a fucking asshole for bitching about my two loving parents who, whatever.
Yeah. But life
there's kids in your high school that are like, they're supporting themselves and living in an apartment.
Yeah.
And they don't have any parents.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
sad.
Okay.
Anyway, well, that's it.
All right. Love you.
Love you.